are live. Let's go. Ashton, Tenny, welcome in. I appreciate y'all being here. How y'all feeling today? Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. Let me double check a few things before we get rolling here, but y'all welcome into Track Talk. I appreciate y'all being here. Daniel's in the building. What's up, Daniel? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Keith is in the building. Aquatic, welcome in as well. Thank y'all so much for joining the stream today. If y'all are coming in, we're going to start in a couple minutes here. But if y'all are coming in for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you make music, the kind of music that you make, and we'll get rolling with some music here in the next 5-6 minutes or so. I'll explain the whole live stream and all that fun stuff. But if y'all are over on TikTok, also do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people, and don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. And we'll get rolling with Track Talk here in just a few minutes. In just a few minutes, I'll get a few things set up here. Luis is in the building. What's up, Luis? Welcome in. Let's go, Daniel. I got you, man. Nathan, welcome in. Max, appreciate you joining. Orthodox, welcome in as well. I appreciate y'all joining. How y'all feeling today? Christian, welcome in. MJ's in the building. Dan, welcome into the stream. Appreciate y'all joining. Y'all let me know where y'all are coming in from. Let me know where y'all are joining from. If you happen to make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. We'll get rolling with submissions here in just a couple minutes. I'm going to wait for the different platforms to wake up. We're live right now on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So we're going to wait for everything to kind of get rolling here, get everything moving, and then we'll kickstart the live stream. We'll listen to y'all's music. We'll do the typical long form detailed breakdowns that we do. Kaiser, welcome in as well. Appreciate you being here. Welcome into the stream. Quantum is in the building as well. Welcome in, y'all. Hope y'all are doing amazing. What's up, Derek? Welcome in. Changed the song around yesterday. I'm digging it. Let's go. I know I'm excited because what's up, Zips? Welcome in, man. I'm excited it's such a dramatically different structure than we're initially hearing and talking about. So I'm intrigued in the future to hear what it even means to kind of change all of that around and actually get the sonically hear what's going on with the Phobies. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Frakes, welcome in as well. Charlie's in the building. Blanco, welcome in as well. Technology, I appreciate y'all joining the stream. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Would love to do some credit giveaways later on today as well. If we can get to like 20,000 likes, something like that, we'll give some credit away to get y'all on the board as well. Sweat Music, welcome in. I appreciate y'all joining. If you're coming in for the first time, would love to know where you're joining from. I would love to know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. And just in the next couple minutes, as I start to kind of get the different platforms warmed up and get the algorithms moving, everything flowing, we'll kickstart the live. I'll explain the whole thing, and we'll get flowing here. We'll get flowing. Let me just refresh a couple things, update a few things, and then we'll get rolling. Oh, don't do that. Live in Northwest Florida, Kentucky, born and raised. Let's go. Sweat Music. What kind of music do you make? Addison is in the video, or Adelson, I think. I have a glare on my screen, so I'm trying to read through the glare from 3 feet away. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Do you review songs from other artists like Pearl Jam? We do not listen to popular artists. This is for independent underground artists, musicians, producers, session musicians, writers, vocalists, whatever it may be. Any genre, any level of preparedness, any level of quality, all the way across the board. We're going to get everything from voice memos from people that are brand new to music, people that have been nominated for Grammys and have Billboard charts and stuff like that. It's going to be a huge variety of quality and styles that we hear. Sweat Music, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Silent King, King. Appreciate you tapping in today as well. Friday, welcome in. Thanks for joining, y'all. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. As soon as we get a couple things rolling here, I'll explain the live stream and we'll get everything flowing here. I'm going to make sure that I have all of my emails updated over here really quick, and then we'll get it running here. Lewis, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Sally, welcome in as well. Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Sweat does rap, hip hop, underground rapper, producer, beat maker, all of the above. Triple threat. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Are you engineering your own stuff, Sweat? I can't talk. Engineering your own stuff as well is what I'm trying to ask quickly. Dope, man. That's amazing. Hell yeah. Triple threat. Trash Panda, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. How long have you been how long have you been doing that? Jay, welcome in to the chat. Welcome in, welcome in. Y'all keep tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. In like the next 60 seconds, we're gonna get things flowing, we're gonna get things rolling, and I'll start updating the line off and on for over 20 years. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's amazing, man. We got a veteran in the building. That's fantastic. Fantastic, man. That's amazing. Props to you for sticking with it. I understand the on and off part too. Zeno, welcome in as well. Trevor, I appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing amazing today. We're going to get flowing with some music here in just the next couple minutes. Let me get a couple things updated on my end. And then I'll refresh and we'll get everything moving. We'll update the line. We'll get everything flowing here. Let me see. DJ also, okay, are you actually doing like streaming, or are you actually doing venues and parties and stuff like that too? Daniela, welcome in. Max, appreciate you joining the stream. Y'all welcome to Track Talk. Thanks for joining in. Make yourself at home. Feel free to chill, hop in the chat. Let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, talk to me about your music. We'll get flowing here in a second. Booty Shaker in the building. Former member of Worldwide Fleet DJs. Ooh, I've never heard of that. That sounds killer. What is the kind of the context of that? What's the background of Worldwide Fleet DJs? Internet radio now. Okay, sick. Amazing. Redline, welcome in. Thanks for joining, y'all. We're about to get things flowing. Nick, appreciate you tapping into the stream. Just giving it a couple minutes here, and then we'll explain the whole thing. Michael is in the building. What's up, Michael? Been playing almost 40 years. Now strictly Christian music and outreach. Amazing, man. Awesome. I got a lot of my early start as a musician, doing music directing, session work, and like production work and stuff for churches. This is cool. Skinner, welcome in. One of the top DJ coalitions in the world. Dude, fantastic, dude. That's amazing that you got that gig. That's awesome. Very, very cool, man. I appreciate you tapping in today. Appreciate you joining for a minute. Y'all welcome in. We're getting it flowing here. Zach is in the building. Kenny OG is in the building as well. Welcome in, Kenny OG. Give me just one moment here, and we'll get, let me just update this one thing really fast and make sure I have everything up over here. And then we'll get rolling. We'll get rolling. They have models, magazines, record label, and more, not just a DJ coalition. It seems like it's a whole kind of collaborative structure with different forms of media and art, which is really cool. Disc, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Starting off music, this is Skinner. I'm starting off music right now. Very small, tiny artist. I love it. A very small, tiny artist. Amazing. It's not a 25 mandatory skip, Daniela. It's not a 25 mandatory skip. I'm starting off music right now. Unless someone messed up the platform. I'll double check some things, but it's not supposed to be. Let me see. I'll also explain kind of what the structure and stuff here is as well in a second. These are not quick reviews, so I want to address that here in a moment as well as I read through a couple things. Love how it's all musicians, and yeah, this amazing community. We've been doing these lives in this context for the last like 3.5 years that we've been doing these long form consultations, which I'll explain here in a second. Let me just double check something real quick. Danielle, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me double check something real quick as we're getting rolling, just to make sure I've got everything doing what it's supposed to do. So give me just one moment. I'll pull it up on my phone really quick too, just so I can make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do. I've been working back and forth with the developer to kind of just make sure that things are doing what they're supposed to do. So give me just one moment. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it so much. Give me 30 seconds, y'all. I'll explain the whole live stream. We'll explain what we do here, and then we'll dive in. So let me see here. Let me double check a few things. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a 20. Yeah, it's not a 25. Yeah, I double checked. It's got the normal options. It's got the normal options. Okay, let's get in it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I'll keep answering questions. We'll keep diving into some of the details here in a second. But let me get a couple things rolling here, and then I'll explain. Let's see, 2, 3, 10. Perfect. Boom, boom. This refreshed, and then we'll dive into it. Cheyenne, welcome in as well. I appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it really quick. Let me explain the whole structure of the live stream and what we're doing here. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all so much for hanging out with us today, spending any level of time here with us. I appreciate it a lot. It means a lot that you would, even just a couple minutes, whether it's, that or a couple hours, it means a lot that you would spend any amount of time just, walking through the live stream here. So thanks for being here, y'all. For those of you who don't know what we do here at Track Talk, these are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultations on the structure of your music. They're very long form, they're detailed, they're analytical. We will listen to your song, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes. We're going to go through your song about 2 or 3 different times through your song, whether it's you're an artist or a producer, instrumentalist, session musician, whatever it is. They're long form, they're detailed, and they're very, very analytical. Over that 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to dive into your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting. We're going to get into the nuances and the details of what you're doing both practically and creatively within the structure of your music. This is not a quick review. This is not trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It's a really long-form, detailed breakdown of the structure of your music. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm also not here to hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. If that happens, if the algorithms on the different platforms do something fun and you get a lot of eyes and ears on what you do, fabulous. That's amazing. That's not my priority. It's not the way that we've structured the stream. But the way we structure this is to offer as much value as possible and offer you specific, professional, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. Skinner, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And in fact, that's the best place to be, Skinner. This is why a lot of people utilize this live stream. Fowler, welcome in. Good to see you. Swayze is in the building. What's up, Swayze? Welcome in over on the Purple app as well. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So that is kind of the structure of the live stream, the perspective of the live stream. Again, like to offer as much value as possible, use that experience to offer some very specific tools over the 20 to 30 minutes that we break down your music. If you would like to submit your music for the consultations that we're talking about right now, all you got to do is go to the link in my bio. You'll see everything that you need right there. You'll see the submit, and you'll hopefully everything is working today. I'm hoping it is. We've gone through some little technical things over the last couple of days, trying to figure out some things with the submission forms, but I think everything's working perfectly now. So let me know if you all have any questions in that, in that form. Eggy Bread, please do not spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you'll get muted, and I want you to be able to connect. I want you to be able to talk to people and hang out with them and communicate with them, and you can't do that if you're muted. So don't spam the chat. If y'all want to submit your music for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link in my bio, and you'll see everything that you need right there. No, you're totally good. I know it can get confusing sometimes because other live streams will be like, spam the chat with your song, and I'll choose one or whatever to increase their engagement. Brielle, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that. Yes, you can send files, MP3, Wave, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, doesn't matter to me as long as I have access to it. But you can send whatever you want. And as long as it fits within that form, and we should be ready to go. Everything's organized. The same place you submit is the same place that you can see your track, see the line and all that good stuff as well. Wish I had something new for you. Derek's always got something he's working on. Always got something he's working on. Swayze, it's so good to see you over in the Purple app. I hope you're doing amazing today. Glad you were able to able to get back in the chat today as well. Yes, absolutely. Any genre of music, any style, any level of quality. This is not necessarily a place to prove yourself. There's a lot of lives like that to see if your song is amazing, which is, it's cool that you can still do that here if you feel like it. But most people submit their music before it's finished. People send in finished stuff 100%. Most people send, premixes. They're sending demos. They're sending ideas that they have. They're sending like, hey, this is mastered, this is mixed, but I'm still not positive on it. I don't know if I need some revisions from my engineer, whatever it may be. A lot of people utilize this live as kind of like a last stop before distribution or before mastering or before like finishing out the production structure of their song. So if that's interesting to you, like I said, everything is at the link in my bio. Everything's at the link in my bio. Yes, Bobby, it is. It says skips only because that's what the platform says. But this is strictly a paid service. I switched platforms, so that's the language that it has. It says skips only, like there's a free and a skip, but that's not necessarily what it is. It's only a paid consultation. Starts at about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm on pre-workout and you talk. I do. I can't see the name. Waste. I appreciate it. Yeah, ADHD, baby. It's not slowing down. It's not it's not slowing down. And this is without pre-workout too. It's crazy. Do you accept AI music? I write the lyrics myself and use AI to turn it into a song. You can use AI. Everyone has a different perspective on that. I don't really care too much. I care what I do, and I have value. I see the value in what I do personally, but I don't necessarily care what anyone else does. When it comes to these 20 to 30 minute long form, consultations, the thing that I feel like that I always ask when people are talking about AI is that you let me know up front. I think that's helpful to kind of dissect what we're doing. At the same time, and actually in the submission form, I think you can check a box that says if your song is AI or not, so I know how to kind of address it. But also let me know how I can be of value. This is a long form paid service, so I do want to make sure that I can be as valuable to you as possible. So if you're, like you said, you're writing lyrics, we can spend that 20 to 30 minutes diving deep into, maybe some of the production structure and stuff like that, even though you have less control over that. But largely speaking, we can talk in depth about like lyric structure, song formatting, phrasing, the lyrics themselves, song structure as a whole. Those are going to be usually some of the like shadow areas of AI that don't have the best quality. So we can talk about, ways that you can improve on a lot of that structure if that would be valuable to you. But that's all I always say is when someone comes in with their own production or a song that they wrote and they're singing, so on and so on. If they're coming in, trying to figure out those things out, it's a little easier to dissect exactly what we can kind of hone in on, practically speaking, to help them improve their craft. If it's AI, it's a little bit different, but we can still talk about lyric and song formatting, structure, phrasing, things of that nature. Really random, but do you know Sophia Isela? I don't believe so. It kind of sounds familiar, but I'm not positive. You have a radio voice. Thank you. All right, let's see. Do you like any Irish artists? I don't know if I know any that I know as Irish artists, but I enjoy music in absolutely any style. And I work in a lot of different spaces, different styles, different genres, different, kinds of artists and stuff like that. So I have an appreciation for a lot of things. We had some people yesterday, someone sent in, I think it was like a Polish song. I knew absolutely zero about what they were saying, but we could still address the quality. We could still address dynamic ranges. We could still address the mix, instrumentation, stuff like that. So I think it can still be valuable because I think music and the emotion behind creating music far surpasses the understanding of the language oftentimes. Let's see. Would you prefer me be on a different platforms? Like, would it not necessarily, Swayze, up to you. Whatever platform works best for you. Sometimes there's ads over on Twitch, or I don't think there's any on YouTube right now. I think I turned them off. I can't on Twitch unless you're subscribed. If you're subscribed on Twitch, it does remove the ads for you, and you get a free one with Prime if you have Prime. But it kind of depends on what platform you want to be on. If you are over on TikTok and you want to submit your music for a consultation, just go to the link in my bio. You'll see everything that you need right there. If you are on the Purple app, use your imagination. You can type !submit right there in the chat. If you're on the Red app, YT, you can go to the description for the live stream and you'll see everything that you need right there. Nate, the line is actually at the place that you submit. So if you go to the link that's in the description over on the Red app, you'll see when you go to the submission form, you can check the line right there as well. It makes it really easy. But right now, we just hopped on, so we haven't even heard our first song yet. We're just getting things rolling here. So line is wide open. We're getting things flowing, and we'll hopefully get into some music here in just the next couple minutes. If y'all are over on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Tap the screen, share out the live with just a few people, especially if you feel like they would be interested in what we're doing here and the community that we're building here. And of course, if you want to help out the live stream a little bit, sending in your heartbeat does really help out the stream. Give it a little bit of a nudge. CJ, welcome in as well. I hope you're doing fantastic today. Let me double check a few things here, and then we'll get rolling as well. Skinner, I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. Is it Elman? Am I saying that correctly? Song title Water by Me. If you would like to submit, go to the link in my I can't talk. The link in my bio. Jesus. Nathan, welcome back in. Saretsky, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Skip is just what they call it. I can't control the platform that we're on, right? So the skip is just what they call it. This is a paid consultation. This is not a free service. So it just starts at the 10. It just starts at the 10, and then people can send more if they want to go faster, if they want to get heard sooner, or they just want to support the channel or whatever it may be. So you can always send more, add to it if it's taking too long or whatever. There's no pressure to do that, but that's why that exists there. But they just call it a skip, but it's not. It just kind of just starts there. Is it okay if it's a longer song? The song is over 7 minutes and looking for help to shorten it. Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I mean, if it was like 15 minutes, that that digs into it a little bit. That just means we'll spend more time talking about the structure of the song, not necessarily maybe like mix and production details. Nicole, welcome in. So good to see you. So I do think we have especially when producers come in here. Producers will come in with like their EDM mixes and maybe parts of their set and stuff like that, talking about production details, sound design choices and stuff like that. And oftentimes, if you're like an EDM producer, you're doing festivals and events and venues and stuff like that, a lot of these like extended cuts are 5 to 7 minutes long. So there's not a problem in that. And maybe even trying to find a 7-minute song and figuring out what a 3.5-minute radio cut would be happens all the time. So no problem with that at all. Juan, welcome in as well. I hope you're doing fabulous today. Hope you're doing amazing. Let me see. Make sure I'm checking all the different platforms too. But yeah, if you're on the red app, everything's at the description. If you're on the purple app, you can type !submit. If you are over on TikTok, everything's at the link in my bio, and you'll see everything that you need right there. And we'll get flowing with music here in just a moment. As soon as I get the first couple people in here, I have a couple people coming in right now. So I'm just going to wait to get them up on the board, and then we'll kickstart the music. We'll get things flowing. And I would love to do, what's up, Nicole? Uncle Vic, welcome in as well. Would love to do some giveaways today. So if y'all can do me a huge favor, tap the screen like crazy. If we can get to 20,000 likes, we'll give away some credit on the board as well. So y'all can get some free moves up. You can skip the line. You can move yourself forward a little bit if that would be helpful for y'all. We'll try to do some giveaways over the course of the live as well. So make sure y'all are tapping, and then we'll get flowing in a second. How's it going, Nicole? Hope you're doing amazing today. Day TK in the building. Welcome in. Put some tracks in stereo last night. Let's go. Those are the things that get me excited. We got tracks in stereo. Do you feel like you were sonically able to hear a difference, right? Because sometimes without seeing the session, it's hard to know exactly like what's going on, what is the core issue of opening up the signal, opening up the stereo field, and getting some openness and some vibrancy. It made a huge difference. That's what I like to hear. That means we found the core problem. I think that's fabulous. Even the vocal sounds so much better. I love it. It's like that's one of my favorite parts about doing these consultations is coming back. People coming back. This happened yesterday too, a couple times. People coming back and be like, "Dude, I switched that thing and it's so much better now." That makes me so happy. That's very, very fulfilling. Nate, I got you. Nate, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for hopping in today. I really, really appreciate it. Let me get a couple things rolling. I love it, Nicole. I always appreciate your support. Thank you so much for always being so generous with your resource and your time. It means a lot. Jason, welcome in. Thanks for joining the stream. Y'all keep tapping the screen. We're going to dive into some music. We are not waiting any longer. Let's get into some consultations. Just a quick reminder again, if you would like to submit for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive into the structure of your music, whether you are an artist, you're a producer, you're a session musician, you're an engineer, you're a vocalist, you're a songwriter, whatever would be beneficial, whatever would serve you and give you some value, that's our goal here. If you want to submit for these consultations, you can go to the link in my bio. You'll see everything that you need. Let me know if y'all have any questions, but everything is right there. You should be able to read through the details. But let's dive into some music. We got Daniel in the building as well. Daniel, I got you up on the board, man. I appreciate you so much. So far, Nate and Daniel just got y'all, since y'all are ready to go. And then hopefully, excuse me, hopefully everything has been figured out with the skip. So let me just double check a few things real quick. I want to confirm it for myself really quick since they just updated the code last night. So give me a moment just to check the boxes here real quick. Let's see. Soretsky, I got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me double check over here. Let's go. Can one of y'all do me a huge favor? Either Soretsky, Nate, or Daniel, can y'all do me a favor and go back to this? I just need to test something before we get everything rolling. You don't have to do anything, but go back to the submit page where it says see the line. You can check the line there anytime. Can you go there and let me know if it gives you an option to skip? Because we're having a bunch of technical issues earlier the last couple days, and it switched back and forth, and they're supposed to update everything last night. So I just want to double check. Can you just let me know if it gives maybe an option only for your song, if it's on your page or whatever it is? Let me know. let me know, just so I can test that really quick and make sure that's up and running. Because I was working with them yesterday to try to figure that out. Let me switch my piano really quick. I want to be a little brighter here. Perfect. Took me to the pay for skip and I pay. Okay, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Before you store, what am I saying? Just a minute. It said it was set to skip only. Having 4 tiers starting at 10. Okay, yeah. If you go back now, what I was asking, I think Daniel said it works. It seems to give the option. So we had an issue the other day where it said skip for everyone's song. So if you randomly hit skip the line, it would skip random people's songs. It was super annoying. People were like sending money to other people. It was very annoying. I think it got worked out. So what I was checking is if you go back to see the queue place and you can see your song there, if it only gives you an option to skip your song, if you're the one who's running into that. Okay, but that Daniel said it does seem to give that. But I think everyone else is up there. Keep in mind, if you want to see the line, you can always see the line. It's up on the board, constantly if you go to that same link. Okay, so Soretsky, I got you. Nate, I got you. Daniel, I got you. Y'all should be up and ready to go. Let's keep things rolling here. And let's see, everything seemed fine when I was... Okay, perfect. Perfect. Just double checking, keeping everything organized here and making sure everything. Before you start, I want to know, can you give us a little bit of Golden Hour by Jake on the piano? I'd have to hear it. I could maybe play parts of it by ear, but that's a pretty complex piano line. I'd have to figure it out by ear. I haven't like memorized it or learned it or anything like that. But let's get into some music, y'all. Let's get into some music. We got it rolling here. We got Soretsky Gallery in the building. So let's dive in. I'm excited to get into this. And then Soretsky, give me any other, I'm going to read through the message right here, but give me any details that you want beyond this. But let's go ahead and dive into the music, y'all. If y'all are over on TikTok, once again, do me a huge favor. Just every once in a while, keep tapping the screen, keep the likes going up. We'll do some giveaways hopefully later on to help move some of y'all forward. The giveaways are for anybody that's in line. So if you're in line with the song, you have an opportunity to move faster, get an extra song or whatever it may be. So that's what we're going to dive into. This is A Letter to Heaven. I wrote the lyrics myself and used AI to turn it into a song. It's about someone I lost, looking for feedback on shortening the lyrics or leaving it as an anger song. Okay, or the text wrapped over as a longer song, not an anger song. As a longer song. Okay, let's get into it, man. Thank y'all for joining today. We're gonna get into the music. This is our first song of the day. This is A Letter to Heaven by Soretsky. Let's dive into it. Let me pull this up on YouTube real quick, and then we'll get it rolling. Let me pause this here and I'll open it up on this page so it's a little bit easier for me to get through. All right, here we go. Any other context you want me to have, just let me know in the chat.
I've held it together for God knows how long. Smiled at the people.
Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate it.
Be strong. But tonight something cracked and I can't catch my breath. I'm choking on all that's left after your death. So I grab a pen to write you my prayer, with a plan to have it reach you up there. I start my letter and say I'm missing you more than ever, and I need to ask you some things that I've been wondering since that day. Did leaving hurt, or were you happy to go? When you left your body, did you look down and know? Did they meet you at the gates? Was it worth the wait? Do you still worry? Do you still care? What do you eat? Is there your favorite pizza up there? Do you miss my voice? Do you hear me when I weep? Do you
Furlong, welcome in. It does, Nate. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in.
Can always adds such warmth, especially to a production like this.
Let me know some of your goal as far as where you want this song to exist. Like, do you want, like, what's your goal? Kind of, where do you want to position this?
Is it all bliss, or do you still feel pain? Heaven is so lucky to have you back again. So many questions tonight, and the one I can barely write. Do you forgive me for not being there that night? I go outside and look into the dark, testing the wind, hoping it'll carry the spark. Then I fold it up as paper prayers, strike a match to it in the midnight air. I'm turning my ink into smoke and light to find you somewhere in the edge of the night. Go on, little embers fly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Carry my heart to the other side, 'cause I trade
You want to be able to connect people with similar experiences, right?
I got your letter and I'm okay. I collapsed in
Beautiful.
the
I love that.
dark and started to cry. If the smoke doesn't reach you, what more can I try? I have no more strength. All that's left is goodbye. Then sleep overcame me, restless and deep from the weight of the questions. Worried you're too far to reach, but tonight my dream felt as real as can be. And then you appeared and said to me, hey, I got your letter and I'm okay. And what's it like up here?
I like that melody.
Well, the skies
What's up,
are
Silex? Welcome in.
blue. No,
The lead string melody's
I
nice.
don't need to eat, but I can have my favorite pizza too. Yes, I watch you while you sleep, and oh yes, I carry the tears that you weep. I'm not in the ground and I'm not in pain, and yes, those were my tears in the rain. Yes, I heard every word, and I need you to know I love you forever, and it's time to let go. And that night you missed, I was already gone. Now I await you with our Father and His Son. Oh,
What's up, man? Hope you're doing well.
thank God I sent up my paper
Thanks for the go populars, man. Appreciate you.
Reach you in the midnight air. My ink really did turn into
Thank you for the harmony as well.
smoke and you heard my heart somewhere in the edge of the night. Oh, how high those little embers can fly. Carried my questions to the other side, 'cause I finally got to hear you say,
Hey, appreciate you so much, man. Appreciate you.
I got your letter and I'm okay. I wake up knowing it wasn't just a dream. My letter reached you, you came to see.
Really like that melody. Mike, welcome in.
Peace rush through me. I know I'll be okay. I'll hold you in my heart, you're never far away. I'll finish my journey, I'll finish my race. I'll see you again by God's grace. Yeah.
Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is, I think the artist, I think it's Soretsky that I have in the chat. I think the artist's name is Sherilyn, I'm pretty sure. So that is A Letter to Heaven by Sherilyn. Let's dive in. Let's get into the details here. Thank you so much for sending this in. I appreciate it so much. Let's dive into a couple things. One of the main questions is, how do we compartmentalize this a little bit? How do we cut down? How do we trim? How do I make this a song that is, I guess, essentially like more viable, like more commercially palatable for the average person to consume, and you know, it's dynamic range and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that it kind of sits in a space that as many people as possible, if that's your goal, that as many people as possible hear your message, relate to the lyrics that you're singing, or that's being generated here, but the lyrics that you wrote, and connecting to it, right? So I just want to make sure that that's all those things are kind of lined up and pointing in the right direction. My gut reaction, right? Like obviously there's some beautiful emotional lyrics in here, and what is being, you know, sung here has this really huge drama to it, right? It's dramatic, it's really, really powerful, it's really, really open. So you get that emotional pull. Here's my gut reaction to how that's happening and the way that that's actually kind of manifested in the song is if you have the dramatic, I'm backtracking here a little bit. The dramatic dynamic range is one of the kind of like climaxes of this song, right? The ability to go from yeah, and go crazy. That crazy dynamic range right there, or to go from that crazy dynamic range. That's kind of the really, I know it sounds crazy when I'm doing it, but that is the kind of the climax of the song and the really vulnerable moments on the song. Having that really dramatic dynamic range, to me, is one of like the good gimmicks of a song, right? And by gimmick, I don't even necessarily mean it in the more playful way or like a sarcastic way, but just, you know, a tool of the song to make it really interesting to listen to, right? If you have those, if you place those tools and those kind of objects throughout the song too often, then it loses its impact a little bit, right? It's like, imagine if you had a song and it had a crazy guitar solo, but then the whole song was crazy guitar solos. The crazy guitar solo wouldn't feel as crazy anymore, right? Or if you like start a song with this like nuts, you know, drum solo, or like if it's an R&B record and there's some crazy vocal runs and they're just going scaling all the way through and it sounds absolutely nuts and powerful and crazy. And that just happens the whole time, or like happens every 20 seconds. It keeps doing that. It would lose its impact. We adapt very quickly to surprising elements. And so I feel like one of the things that you need to kind of figure out with the song being a 7.5 minute, you know, long form song structure, we have to really figure out like, how do I still have some surprises? How do I have the dynamic range? How do I fulfill that emotional pull? But at the same time, don't actually lose the weight of that emotional pull because it keeps going crazy every 30 seconds to these high, crazy, unbelievable octaves, right? And this really, you know, vulnerable, intimate, you know, dynamic range as well. If we keep doing that, we're going to lose a lot of the emotional weight because it's not a surprise anymore. I'm kind of after like 2.5 minutes. After 2.5 minutes, I'm already kind of prepared for that to happen again. Like even at the very end here, I looked down at the song. I was at like, I think 6.5 minutes or so, and it was really, really quiet. And I was like, there's another minute left. In my brain, I'm like, we're already about to go crazy again. And then she goes, and it goes crazy. And so there's a little bit of that anticipation that happens, and you lose, I think, some of that like natural climax of the song by giving away too much of that. So I do think there is some value in shortening this and making those moments a little bit more strategic, a little bit more specific and intentional, so it doesn't feel like the good thing is happening too often, because then it will lose its impact. It'll lose its it'll lose its power in the song. So let's run it from the top, and then we'll obviously, it's long, so we're going to chop through a couple things to kind of get there. But the thing for me is that dramatic dynamic range so often in the song, and feeling like we can consolidate this a little bit more. The other thing that I want to say that kind of goes hand in hand in that, let me back it up here, is kind of the idea that we need to put all of the information in every song. I think what oftentimes makes a really, really well-written song is the ability to kind of consolidate and bring things closer and make them concise and make them powerful and impactful, and allow the listener, allow the audience to fill in a lot of those gaps and place themselves in the story and place themselves in the circumstance of the song, the environment of the song, the aesthetic of the song, and let them fill in some of those gaps. If you give away every detail, the whole story, every single line is filled in because it's 7.5 minutes of the story and the lyrics and the constant kind of filler right there, then you will definitely lose kind of the impact of it, because there's not really any space for me, the listener, in this song, because it's all been filled. Sometimes it's better from a lyrical standpoint to allow other people to place themselves there, not sonically like where their vocals would come in, but allow some space for processing for me, and for me to kind of place myself in the story. I think that's a sign of good art in any medium, is the ability to do that, whether that's in music, whether that's someone interpreting a painting, whether that's you're watching a movie and you feel that emotional pull to different characters and stuff like that. That's why I think that's so important. So those are a couple of the things. That's kind of my bullet point right here. I think we can consolidate not only the really beautiful emotional storytelling within your lyrics and the overall message of it that I think is really powerful, and in tandem with that, shrink down the production in a way that's actually more palatable for people, so they will get more out of it, and they'll actually feel more connected to it. That's kind of my goal. That's kind of what I'm listening for here. All right, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple details here, and then we'll move to the next one. Quick reminder: if y'all are over on TikTok, do me a huge favor, tap the screen like crazy. I want to do a giveaway of 20,000 if we can get there. Tap the screen, share out the live. Don't forget to send your harmony. It does really help out the stream. If you want to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultation like we're getting into right now, go to the link in my bio. Everything's right there. If you're on the purple app, type !submit. If you're on the red app, it's in the description. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive in. I don't mind a longer cinematic intro here too. So when we're talking about shortening this, a lot of it I think has to do with lyric structure too.
For God knows how long. Smiled at the people who said just be strong.
So now these are good intro lyrics, right? These are good early lyrics to the song, just in the way that they're formatted, melody and stuff like that. That's fine. I don't mind it. Now, the thing that I'm kind of keeping in the back of my head is now we've already said this. We've already said in this, and again, most of what I'm gonna do is not necessarily tell you change this, adjust this. This is up to you as the creative, or this is up to you as the one writing these lyrics and trying to format things to kind of figure out how you do that. My goal is to kind of get your own wheels spinning so that you can kind of address what you're doing here. In my mind, now I have said this part of the story, right? I have said this early moment.
I've held it together.
This whole idea of I've held it together, I've put on a face, I've shown you a smile, even though underneath I'm going through a lot of pain and turmoil and frustration and tension. This now preface of the story of you haven't really seen the real me because I've held it all together and I've decided to kind of suppress a lot of these emotions. That part of the story has now been told. So keeping that in mind, we don't have to expand on that a whole lot later on in the song. We don't need a fifth verse or a second bridge or a change in the hook to showcase this part of that. What's up, Aiton? Welcome in. We've said this part of the song, so now there's an understanding from the listener standpoint of the mask that has been put on in order to, just make it through the day, right? Which we all have some experience in, right? Of putting on a show, putting on a mask so that I can just function in society, even while, underneath the surface, there's some raging that's going on. There's some turmoil, there's some sadness that's there, right? So now that we've said this, we don't have to harp on it later on. It can be just something that lives in this pocket of the song. You execute a hook. Maybe you give additional context on a second verse. We execute a hook, and then we outro with something unique and special as well. Maybe one more hook, and then the song's good, and we're at 3.5 minutes, right? That's what I want you to, when you go back, because this is a long song with a lot of lyrics, right? When you go back into these lyrics here and you do a deep dive into everything that's there, see if there's any redundancies in the song as far as what you're saying. And there will be some, any song, it doesn't matter what the song is, there will be some redundancies, right? But I do think the best storytelling has a more consistent journey pointed in a direction that kind of leads you into all these different moments, right? As opposed to, it's we started here, but then we kind of keep coming back around to the same thing again. So I think that's one of the things I would do, is go back through your lyric structure. Now that you've said how hard it was, I held it together, nobody knew what I was going through, that kind of feeling, you don't need to kind of go back and revisit that later on, to the extent I think that we are a little bit.
But tonight something cracked and I can't catch my breath. I'm choking on all that's left after your death.
So we've now gone through the phase of I was putting on a show, but something cracked and I can't hold this in anymore. Then we move to a hook structure, some version of that, right? That we've already kind of completed this little portion of the song. Now we can move into what came out when everything cracked and everything kind of broke for you and the floodgates were opened, if you will.
So I grab a pen to write you my prayer.
This is also a little bit early for a longer interlude like that. You can keep it, but there's 30 seconds here. If we're talking about kind of trimming the fat and cutting the song down a little bit, there's 30 seconds here that I think you could probably go like straight to a hook or straight, like maybe a measure of holding of just 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go back into the verse again, like go into a second verse with a little bit bigger dynamics. I don't think we need to have like a whole like 8 measure interlude right there with an instrumental, because that's another one of the things that even early in the song, we're getting a lot of those dynamic ranges. We're getting a lot of these interludes, and that's pushing the song back. Even just cutting that brings you from, 7 minutes and 20 seconds to 6 minutes and 50 seconds. You do that a couple times. Next thing you know, you're like 5:45 over the course of the song. And then you just have to trim down 1.5 minutes from there for it to be more viable. You're not like, how do I go from 7.5 to 3? You're like, realistically, how do I go from like 5:20, 5:30 to 4 and it be more of a palatable song? Okay, let me get a little deeper here.
Since that day to leaving her still what do you tell me? Do you watch over me when I sleep? Does it rain up there? Is heaven a nice place? 'Cause it rained down here and my mind started to race. Were those your tears falling down my face? Yeah, I sat in the rain.
Okay, crazy dynamic range. Bringing it back down.
Time to say goodbye. Was there you?
Let's go. Crazy dynamic
Is
range.
it all bliss or do you still feel pain? Heaven is so lucky to have you back again. So many questions tonight, and the one I can barely get off is paper prayer.
So now this hook, here's what I would do. Now we're going into a whole other set of perspectives, a whole other set of lyrics and stuff like that. What I would do is just bring back that hook again, right? You have the early one here. Let me see.
Left your roof still miss my voice there the gates happy to go. And I weep. Do you still miss my voice? Do you hear me there? Your favorite pizza gates, was it worth the wait? Do you still worry? Do you still
Colin, welcome in.
care? What do you eat? Is there your favorite pizza? Do you watch over
So like this. That little melody right there, I would go straight back into like a set of lyrics, because the other problem is that, like I said, the storytelling being too expanded, where you're going back into like these kind of revisited lyric structures. And it'll make it a lot easier for you to consolidate this. Like you said, if you live in those moments a little bit more and repeat certain elements, like you have a hook here and you repeat that hook. Part of the problem of this, like being memorable for people at all and being able to get maybe some level of like traction for it in your own world and wanting people to connect to it and it get out there at all. Part of that is also just, there's so many lyrics, it'd be impossible to remember it. It'd be impossible to like, wait, what did the second verse say? Because there's, 2,800 lyrics. And so there's no way to really like, wait, which part was that? Like, what do I relate to? Which part can I remember to sing with you? Most people give songs very, very, very little chances. And that's if they're like Grammy winning songs. Like most people hear like the biggest artist in the world album for the first time and like skip through half the songs. And then they listen to like 4 of them fully and they only like 1 of those. And and even then sometimes it takes them like 6 times listening to even grow into it. And these are the artists that have made it. So it's like, and then you have the other barrier of AI, right? So it's like you have all of this kind of coming up against people remembering the song, relating to it, attaching to it. And so I would reduce as much of that friction as possible. Reduce as much, and whether it comes to song structure, how much we expand on lyrics, the format of the song, I would make sure that your hook is a repeatable hook, that it's the same largely, maybe some small changes, but a small a chunk of those lyrics that are your hook when it goes to the high register, that are consistent, that are, nearly exactly the same every time that you do it. I'm just gonna move into one more part here and then we'll move on.
I collapsed in the dark.
For me, when you get into this moment right here, when the register, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. When it gets into this last little pocket right here, this is where I would close the song. And if there's more things you want to say, then do more songs. I think that's another thing that a lot of songwriters need to kind of figure out and learn over time too, is not every piece of information, not every part of the story needs to be in one song. Write 15 more songs, do a whole album that is the story of all of this happening in their life, or whatever you want to make of it. Do a whole EP that kind of represents it. At this point, there's so much information condensed into one song, so many perspectives on what you're doing, that I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to really convince people to want to listen to it. So that's where I'm like, right in this little pocket right here.
'Cause I trade every breath away. I got your letter and I'm okay.
That's your punchline. I got the letter and I'm okay. It's called a letter to heaven. That's your punchline. That's the end of your hook. Bring it down in a low dynamic.
I collapsed in the dark.
Hey, welcome in. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
If the smoke doesn't reach you, what more can I try?
And I would just like keep it here. Like I would, somehow, however you figure out doing this, just ending on those. What more can I try? Close. Done. Curtains close, song fades out, right? Like having an ending line right there that just closes the door on the song, that's literally at 3:43. That's 3:43. So if you then cut out the interlude in the middle and you go from, low verse to a bigger hook, to a low verse, to a bigger hook, down to like maybe a bridge, kind of in the outro right here, but you make the hook consistent, and then you just fade on this little bridge, like an outro right here, this little tag, you fade out right there. You're at 3:43, you cut out the interlude, you're at like 3:20. 3:20 to 3:30-ish, right? 3:20 to 3:30. That's a song now, right? Like that's a bit more, that's a bit more of a song structure that's going to make sense. That's going to be easier for people to palate. Now we have 4 minutes of song. We can split into 2 other songs. You know what I mean? We have 4 more lyrics of 4 more minutes of perspectives and lyrics and information, right? In this story, and the feelings that you have and all the emotion behind it that can be in other records, that can all stand alone in their own place without it all being condensed into one record. Y'all, show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is Soretsky. That is Sherilyn. That's the artist name on here. The song's called A Letter to Heaven. Show them some love and support. I appreciate you sending this in. Thank you for your vulnerability. And the messaging behind the song. Obviously, I know it can be a very, very challenging thing. I'm currently going through some things that I can relate to, and what you're talking about here. So I really appreciate your vulnerability in sending in something like that. Thank you so much for coming in, for your support of the live as well. It means a lot. Y'all show some love to Soretsky Gallery right here in the chat. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Let me see. Okay, we got Nate, we got Derek. Got you. Nate, I appreciate you so much, man. Nate, I just saw your skips, man. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for your generosity, man. That means a lot. Quick reminder, if you would like to submit your music, if you're on TikTok, go to the link in my bio. If you're on the red app, go to the description. If you're on the purple app, type ! Submit right there in the chat. Keep in mind, these are 20 to 30 minute consultations. They're deep dive, they're long form, they're multiple listen, and we're going to give as much value as possible. If that's interesting, go to those spots to submit your music. You can also check the line there and skip faster if you would like to as well. Let's get into it. We got Nate in the building. This is called Send Me. Haven't finished the song yet. Have a feature coming in soon. Would love feedback on what I have so far. Beautiful. Nate. Nate's over on the red app right now. Nate, give me all the information. You know the deal. Remind the chat what you do in your music, the role that you play in your music. Let's keep it rolling. So is there going to be like an open verse for where the feature is?
Send me on mission with deep conviction. Don't wanna hide my pearls if they will listen. I've seen souls cry out. They need a drink from the well. Send me. I know they're looking for truth. Send me. I know they're looking for something real. Send me. I know this cost my life, Lord. Send me. I'll go wherever you send me. I'll go wherever you want. Send me. Send me, send me. I'll go wherever you send me. Send me, send me. I'll go wherever you send me, send me, send me. I'll go wherever you send me, send me, send me. I'll go wherever you send me. When I was a young boy, I laid in my bed crying out for the homeless. When I was a young boy, didn't realize I'm the one that's spiritually homeless. I didn't know he chose to draw in the sand when he could have stoned us. Instead of a stone, he sent a person of water so then he could grow this. Yeah, I don't wanna be sent. I know there's someone who's high like a jet. I know there's someone who's pushing a gun to their head, thinking it's time that they left. I know there's someone who's crying.
Thank you for the follow, Jet. Appreciate it.
Someone wasted like a belt. I know there's someone who's thinking the Lord is a joke, like he just a book on a shelf. Keep sending me out, so I bringing them back to the Holy One. Just like heaven, your will done, kingdom come. Man, I see the harvest is plenty. I see the valley of dry bones. I'm ready for you to send me. I know they're looking for truth.
A little industry baby vibes.
I know they're looking for something real. Send me. I know this cost my life, Lord. Send me. I'll go wherever you send me. I'll go wherever you want. Send me.
What's up, Darrell? What's up? What's up?
Send me.
Good to see you, man.
Wherever you send me, send me, send me. I'll go wherever you send me, send me, send me. I'll go wherever
Hey, what's
you
up,
send
man?
me, send me, send me. I'll go wherever you send me.
Woo! All right, so this is open. There's a feature coming in. Keep that in mind. This is still early demo. Features coming in later. How you doing, Darrell? Hope you're doing amazing, man. Welcome in. Gotta do my puzzle. Gotta do my puzzle. Hold on. This was all produced by Nate as well. Okay, cool. Kind of want another hook, even if it's low in this dynamic after like the 16 from the artist. It would be nice to have just one more, and then end on the the footsteps after that. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Y'all show some love. Bedek, welcome in. Show some love, show some love. That is Nate. Send me. They're over on the Red app right now. I wanted to read their message so everybody can understand what they do. And said, I produce the beat, mix and master, and record all my own stuff. This is part of an EP I'm making called I Say Yes. So this song completes the phrase, I say yes, send me. And this is the feature, and then the song ends with the footsteps representing being set. Beautiful. I'm ready for the feature on this, man. This is gonna be fun. It's a really great production. There's a lot that I really, really like about it. There's some things that I wanna push, I wanna amplify, I wanna, kind of wake up in this production a little bit, because although it all sounds really good, like I like all of the things that I'm hearing, there's portions of this hook that can feel even beyond the mix. So more about production and vocal production here. On this like early part of the production can feel a little like suppressed. It feels like a little bit, null in some places, right? I want to wake it up. I want to, spice it up a little bit, get it a little bit. Maybe that has to do with stacks on the vocals. Maybe it has to do with like brass stabs on the accents on the hook, empty out for the features and for your vocal on the first verse. But I want to find some ways to kind of wake it up a little bit. Is it Marhi? Am I saying that correctly? I do want to make sure I get your name correctly over on Twitch. Can I send an instrumental/electronic track? Absolutely. We get producers in here all the time. So if you want to submit music, over on the Purple app, you can type !submit. All of the details will be right there. You can see the line, all that good stuff. And we'll run it, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you have any questions. Can I send a link to my song in the chat? Not in the chat, Mello, but you can go to the link in my bio. I hope you're doing great too. I am doing great, man. I appreciate you. It's been a weird couple days, to be honest, but I'm feeling fairly good today. I'm feeling better today than I was yesterday. Miranda, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you. Okay, let's get it. Let's run it from the top. Once again, y'all, that is Send Me by Nate. Let's dive into it. Let's run it from the top.
Send me on mission with deep conviction.
100%, man.
Don't wanna hide my pearls.
Winona, welcome in.
Listen. I've seen souls cry out. They need a drink from the well.
I don't mind the energy behind this intro. Feels really consistent, right? The music itself is a little bit more open. You don't have as much, rhythmic energy or bass energy, so the vocals a little bit, a little softer in its actual like execution and emoting and stuff like that. I don't mind that. Drums comes in, energy comes in. We can kind of figure out how to beef this up a little bit.
I know they're looking for truth.
Because this is your hook, right? You're going straight from basically like an intro, in my opinion, like either like a half verse or an intro vocal, essentially straight into the send me, straight into your hook, right? So I want to make sure that this send me, if you're going to go deeper with it, right? Drums come in, they're saturated, they've got a nice boost to it. Heavy 808s, horns come in on the top end, like you have all this brass coming in. On the vocal side, we need to make sure there's some sharpness there too, some punch there too, just because this is a huge waking up of the production here. So I want to make sure that your vocal matches that energy. I know it's still early demo, so I'm keeping that in mind as well. But I definitely want to find some ways to kind of spice this up a little bit. I don't mind this being really easy. Open it up.
They need a drink from the well. Send me. I know they're looking for truth. Send me. I know they're looking for something real. Send me. I know this cost my life, Lord. Send me. I'll go wherever you send me. I'll go wherever you want. Send me. Send me. Send me. I'll go wherever you send me.
I think some of it too can, and again, I'm going to speak loosely here. This is stylistic choice. This really depends on how you want to approach the song and the way you want to, articulate the things that you're saying. When it comes to the performance on it, some of it I think too is just the legato versus staccato, right? So it's send me, as opposed to send me, a little bit choppier, a little bit more of a notch in between, a little bit of a shorter like decay on the vocal line right there. If you hear like the actual hook structure, everything's very, very blended, and the production is kind of the same thing. Everything's really blended together between the percussion, kind of the pads in the background, the connective tissue of synths and stuff like that.
Send me. I know they're looking for something real. Send me. I know this cost my life, Lord. Send me. I'll go wherever you send me. I'll go wherever you want. Send me.
So send me. A little bit more punch, a little bit more drive, I think, behind that performance. So it feels a bit more anthemic. I think is a little bit of what I'm looking for. Not even necessarily legato versus staccato, because it's just that phrase, right? It's just two syllables. But I think having a little bit more energy behind that request, right? Again, if I'm thinking to the perspective of the song and what you're doing with it, I want there to be like a little bit more desperation, like a little bit more energy behind that request, as opposed to it feeling like not passive isn't the right word, so don't think passive, but that's the word that's coming to mind right now. But a little bit more like smooth and passive and relaxed, when in reality you're kind of saying, I will do absolutely anything for me. Send me across the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm here, the whole thing, right? So for me, that's where I'm wanting to like wake this up just a little bit and give it a little bit more punch and drive. I think a lot of that has to do with the like kind of the drive behind the vocal, the emoting behind the vocal performance and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind, and how you could do this a little bit with your backgrounds too. I see the echoes in the background, but even the performance of those echoes are still kind of the same softer performance. I would love maybe like one or two layers on there that gives it a little bit of sharpness, right? Little bit of punch, right? Maybe if it's just a layer to it in a lower octave or kind of a gang vocal where it's not pitched, it's not tuned. It's just you yelling that in the background, but it's not necessarily to a note. A little bit of energy to wake that up, I think would be really, really nice.
Send me. I'll go wherever you send me. Send me.
Yeah.
I'll go wherever you send me.
Because it's like, it sounds good. I want to make sure that everyone hears it. Like, it sounds good. It sounds fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know if I feel it. And that's the bridge that I want to, that's the gap I want to bridge right there. I was like, what am I saying? Where it's like, it sounds fine. Sounds good. Like, great tuning structure on it. It's a pretty smooth vocal mix so far. I know it still needs a little bit, but it sounds pretty smooth. It sounds pretty even, but I don't feel it. And that's where I really want to wake it up. That's where I want to kind of like snap out of just having the lyrics there and give it a little punch, give it a little drive. A little up and down would be nice. Yeah, 100%. Even like the little call and response between some of the different feelings there, I think would be great. 100% agree. Okay.
Send me. I'll go wherever you send me.
I appreciate you, Nathan.
Send me.
Cole, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that, man.
When I was a young boy, I laid in my bed crying out for the homeless. When I was a young boy, didn't realize I'm the one that's spiritually homeless. I didn't know he chose to.
It's like even here, like, and again, I'm not trying to pick either, but like even here, where like what you're saying has a lot of depth to it. It would have a lot of kind of like frustration and like and angst and like you're feeling all of these things, right? Like I sense in the way that you're building your lyric structure that there's a lot of emotion wrapped in. There's a lot of perspective, a lot of emotion wrapped up in there that I don't know if I'm necessarily getting from the performance. So I want to feel a little bit more of that energy in there, right? I hear you, but I don't believe you. 100%, right? And I think this is any genre, any style. I don't care if you're a country artist, you're an opera singer, you're a rapper, you're an R&B vocalist, or a pop star. Across the board, if there's not conviction, if there's not like weight behind it, a lot of this also comes through reading, right? If you're reading lyrics, maybe comping more often if you are comping more often, and putting a little bit more into like directing the energy to the mic when you're in the booth or however you're tracking and stuff like that, and maybe comping more often so you don't have to worry about like memorizing the verse or reading off. The scripting oftentimes, especially for like melodic rap in R&B, I think is just really prevalent, so you lose a little bit of the edge. Now, obviously, in this case, you're talking about spiritual things, so there's a lot of emotional weight behind what you're saying and your experience with it. So that's why I'm like, it matters more than anything, right? It matters more than anything, especially in the genre that you're aiming in, that we feel it, that we really, really believe what you're saying.
Drawing the sand when for the homeless. Go wherever you send me.
Like especially these early lyrics.
Wherever you send me. I'll go wherever you send me. When I was a young boy, I laid in my bed crying out for the homeless. When I was a young boy, didn't realize I'm
and I also want to say that like
drawing the sand when he
how you do that. What's up? Okay, bro. Appreciate you tapping in. How you do that is very specific to you. So I don't want to sit here and be like sing it this way so it sounds like you have it. I think more of what I'm saying, and I don't even mean to address this to you, more to like anyone who's tracking vocals ever, is let me back it up here a little bit. Let me back it up here a little bit.
Homeless. I didn't know he chose to draw in the sand when he could have stoned us. Instead of a stone, he sent a person of water so then he could grow this. Yeah, I don't wanna be sent. I know there's someone who's high like a jet. I know there's someone who's pushing a gun to their head, thinking.
Yeah. So my main point is I can't tell you how to do that. I can't tell anyone necessarily how to do it. I can't be like, do it this, this is how you sound more this. What I really want everyone to kind of take into consideration, I'm speaking to myself as well, is I really need, it's like acting. This is a performance. It's a performance on the mic. It is a bit of acting. It is a bit of putting yourself in that situation, thinking about those moments, feeling what that is, and portraying it, and getting an accurate representation of what's in your head into the DAW, right? When you're talking about, like, when I was a kid, I used to cry out for the homeless. Like when you're talking about things like that, and there's all that weight right there. It's like I need everyone who we're digging into, right? I need anyone who's has some emotional weight behind their lyrics to put themselves in that position and be that kid again, and cry out for the homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, cry out for the homeless again and feel that energy and have that angst and that tension in the song, right? And this, I'm telling you, like, this is such an overarching point. It's the same if you're just making booty shaking music. It's the same thing if you just have like a sensual song. It's the same thing. We need to feel the accuracy in all of that, right? Anytime that we hear a song that we like deem as like a bad song, like even just like independent artists, we're like, ooh, that's kind of a rough song. I don't really like the way that it sounds. I don't feel anything at all. It's usually because there's an inaccuracy or a gap between what is being said, what's being represented, and the way that it's making people feel. Like when you feel like someone, like, man, they're saying like sexy things, but it just sounds kind of dirty and raunchy. It doesn't feel sexy at all. Like there's a gap in their ability to translate it. So anyways, I'm speaking to not just you, obviously, Nate, in this case. I'm just overarching points. It's like we need to be able to translate. We need to be able to translate this idea in our heads, the structure that we're coming up with, to people, and them feel the same thing or their perspective on that same thing. And that, to me, that's one of the most important parts about creating art, is the ability to translate those emotions. When you hear a song about something, that's sad and it's dark, or something that's happy and it's poppy, and the ability for you to connect to that and feel that same thing yourself and what a perspective you hold on it, I think that is the superpower of great art. The better you are at doing that, the more often you're going to see, movement and traction for what you're doing. There's a better take for sure, though. It sounds good. 100%. That's what I'm saying, Nate. You're, and again, I'm going back to this. You're awesome. You're doing a great job. I'm probably more picky with you, Nate, just because you're actually fantastic, and I know you know what you're doing, and you do a great job in your music. This is better quality than a lot of people. You know that. I think you're doing a fantastic job. So don't take this as like a rant on just like you need to redo everything. I hold you to a very high standard, and also I hold this space to a very high standard, just because I know what you're singing about, and I know the pain behind it. I know some of the energy behind what you're doing, and I want that to come through, man. Because if it does. If you can get that emotion to come through, dude, it's a different story here. Let's move a little deeper.
In this town that they left, I know there's someone who's crying for help. I know there's someone
You produced all of this too, and I really like the production. It feels very in line with the genre. It feels very in line with what you're doing. You're doing a great job on so many fronts, man. So many fronts.
I know there's someone who's thinking the Lord is a joke, like he just a book on a shelf. Keep sending me out, so I bringing them back to the Holy One. Just like heaven, your will done, kingdom come. Man, I see the harvest is plenty. I see the valley of dry bones. I'm ready for you to send me. I know they're looking for truth. Send me.
I think we can dun 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 dun. That little pop in the brass in the background right there, that to me is a staple of the song. That is part of what makes this beat a little bit more unique outside of it's a heavy 808, heavy 808 with like TR-909s and classic like, 808 drums and trap drums and stuff like that. Like beyond that, part of what sets this apart to feel like its own song doing its own thing are these big brass lines. That to me is kind of the top line of the instrumentation. Definitely make sure that those are solid. Make sure that those are, they're a little bit more condensed to mono panned right, which I don't mind. What's up, Desi? Welcome in. Love the M147. It's a beautiful mic. It sounds amazing. That to me is one of the main features of the production. Otherwise, it's just vocal sample, solid drums, solid 808. Nothing wrong with them. They'll get balanced and they'll sound fine. I'm not worried about the mix on this. But that brass, I do want to be. It's kind of your counter melody in here. Send me bum 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 dun 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 ba da dun 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 dun. Bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. It's a little bit of your counter melody. So that to me needs to be a little bit more of a statement in the song. Maybe even open it back up to stereo. Maybe push it forward a little bit. Find some moments where we can pump that up a little bit. Because right now it's less of a main feature of the song. And I would love for it to have a little more weight behind it. And then we get into the outro right here, and then we'll move on. Because there's a lot about this production that I really like. There's a lot about this production I like. Now on the outro here, just to know, it's just an idea. Feel free to completely ignore it, but I do think it would help solidify your hook a little bit more. It's actually ending with the hook and then doing the footsteps. So after the 16 here, let me see. I think it goes low. Send me. I don't know. Send me. Oh no, send me. I still don't know. Whatever the lyrics, right? I still don't want to waste all you send me. See me. Let it run. Let the steps, kind of roll out at the end right there. But I think just giving you like one more chance. You start the song early, so you have like an early half verse. Start heavy with a nice, strong, hook right off the introduction right there, with the shorter vocals right there. Two strong verses in between, obviously you in the future whenever they come in, that'll be nice and strong. And then you obviously have just one other hook in between that. So since you only have one other hook in between that and an early hook after that first introduction right there, there's really only like one other time for a hook. And so I do think it would be nice to kind of close low with the hook. For me, it just solidifies the catchiness, the stickiness of that. Send me, that little pocket right there. To me, it's like locked in. That makes it so much more viable, so much more catchy. There's just more moments that people are going to grab onto, especially if you amplify that, stronger brass, stronger melody energy, all of that good stuff. Y'all show some love, man. It's great. Dude, this sounds awesome. This sounds really, really cool. Y'all give it up one time for the family. That's Nate. Nate, you're fantastic. I know I'm harping on it. I feel like I'm digging a little bit deeper on this one right now, but for whatever reason, I feel it, so we're going with it. I really, really appreciate what you do. I think you have a great voice. You have good writing in here. Like, it's very consistent. You have a great, consistent hook structure. You have a lot going on in this. Production sounds awesome, even in earlier stages here. Production sounds really nice, so I'm not too worried about the song as a whole. I want to squeeze it for everything that it is, right? Polish the structure, improve the energy and the emoting of the structure itself, and then maybe, like I said, maybe reintroduce the hook at the end before the steps go out, right? There's some delay automation and stuff like that. But man, please show some love to the family. Are you going to be live tomorrow? Maybe. I think so. I'm pretty sure I'll be live tomorrow. I have a lot going on tomorrow, but I'm not positive. I'm not positive exactly when all of it's happening. So I think I might be live tomorrow, but I'll update. If I am live tomorrow, maybe I'll do some early submissions. So I'll open up the line early and I'll post to my stories on IG so that we can open it up again as well. And yeah, make sure that you're following, turn on notifications for live streams. How do I submit it? It says submit it to Skips. Yeah, if you want to submit, go to my link. Go to my link tree. Click on the link in my bio. You'll see everything that you need right there. Line starts at 10. It is a paid consultation, no free line. But please show some love to Nate. They're over on the Red app right now. Show them some love and support. Let's keep it rolling. If you would like to submit your music, everything's at my link in my bio. If you are over on the Red app, everything's in the description. If you're in the Purple app, type !submit and you'll be ready to go. We got our next track in here. We got Derek Bennett featuring Ross Curry. The song is called Masquerade. Let's get straight into it. Derek, you know the deal. I have a little bit of information here, but if you want to drop in anything else, let me know. Rough mix needs screams on the track / breakdown, written and co-produced by me. That's different. That's already different from the typical Derek Bennett music. So I'm already hyper intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued. This is Derek Bennett, metal track from Derek Bennett. Let's go. This is Masquerade by Derek Bennett featuring Ross Curry. Let's dive in. Let me see if it'll play. Skips only why? Because they're not skips. This is not like a live music review and there's a free line and you can skip the free line. It's not even a skip. It's just what the platform has to say right there. They're paid consultations. So these are 20 to 30 minute long form, detailed, multiple listen consultations on people's structure of their music, production, mix, lyric formatting, structure, things like that. So it's not like a free line then a skip. It just starts at 10. And so it says skip. That's just what it says. But it starts at 10. You can always skip past that if you want to go faster from there. All right, let's get into it. I'm excited to get into this. Are any of your vocals in here, Derek? I'm intrigued by that as well. It's time.
This mask is cracking in my hands, and I don't know who I am.
Still has the Derek Bennett thumbprint though. It really does.
Running from the light. You see
no vocals. Okay. I was gonna keep an ear out for him.
You know the face.
Jim, welcome in. Appreciate you being here.
The name I've made. You pulled the veil, the truth revealed. You loved me anyway. You see through this
100%. Can't escape it. Which is great.
Good at blending in with a face that fit in. Set the lines and played the part. Underneath I fell apart. Forgetting who I need.
Love the harmony. Great third note harmony.
Somewhere under make believe. This mask is cracking in my head. I don't know who I am. Hiding in plain
Hell yeah.
sight. Running from the light. You see through this masquerade. You know the face behind the name I've made. You pulled the veil, the truth revealed. You left me anyway. You see through this masquerade.
You've got to do more stuff like this, Derek. You've got to do more stuff like this. I know you want to, but you already have the cinematic edge. If you can collaborate with producers and artists like this and just bring both worlds together, it could be so fire, man. And obviously just reaches a totally different audience.
Spotlight, I'm putting on a show.
Especially unmixed like it
With
is.
a smile so big that they don't know.
Take it off the shelf, dust it off. It's time to release like a cinematic rock record.
Somewhere under make believe. I built these walls to keep me safe. They became a hiding place. All this time I thought
so welcome in.
I lost it all. I tried to earn this love. Just in the center, fabricated. You saw past this mask, saw the fear, the shame, the fight, and you brought me to, the light. You weren't afraid.
And you said some streams are coming, right?
You stood with me, no fragile love. Strip the silence from my skin and let me heal again.
Sick. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That is Derek Bennett music. That is Masquerade. Let me see the feature again. Masquerade. Where did it go? Let me go. Let me see. Masquerade featuring Ross Curry. Love his vocal, man. Love his vocal. Yeah, I definitely feel like you need to do more in this space. I think you need to do more in this space, man. You're very, very talented. Obviously I've heard, dozens of your songs at this point with the cinematic edge, with the, the strings and, heavy drums and some of the remixes you've been doing lately and stuff like that. I think this is also a great lane for you. And it can also be a way that is like, not that this has to be this way, but it's a very palatable way for you to get exposure for all of the other things that you do. Right. And I think it's hard. And then again, I'm speaking on my ass a little bit here, so you can, take this for what it is. But I think at some level, it's harder sometimes to go really, really niche with cinematic, and they're amazing and they're really cool, but cinematic remixes of hymns and like kind of really, really, very narrow pathway right there to getting exposure for what you're doing because of the environment that people listen to it, right? Like it's like we've talked about before of like, where are people going to, encounter songs like this? And where are they going to want to stream them and stuff like that? Obviously getting them placed would be amazing, things of that nature, but it's a very, very small lane as far as like where are people going to encounter this? How are they going to gravitate towards it? How are they going to find it? How are you going to market it? All of those different things, even though it sounds awesome and you do a great job of it. That's not the thing in question. It's just the marketability of it and the way that you get it to people. This is something that people listen to constantly, all the time, every day, in the car, on their way to work, at the gym, in so many different ways, right? In my personal opinion, ignore this if you want to. I would focus on this stuff. Right. And this is just my, even with some of the other vocals that you have, even with some of like the last couple female vocals that you put on some of those songs. True. Thank you for the follow. Some of the last female vocals that you put in your songs, a vocal like this from Ross, those are vocals that could work over really powerful cinematic metal, progressive metal tracks and stuff like that. I think that they would work amazing. Like, I think you already have a lot of this kind of set up. You're already doing a lot of the cinematic stuff. You already understand programming drums, so on and so on. In my personal opinion, if you make this the cornerstone where Derek Bennett music, he makes like cinematic progressive metal, like modern metal tracks, powerful vocals, maybe still with some of like the Christian lyricism, like you can still have some of that in the bridge there, but stylistically, the core of what you do is this like heavy stuff that is very marketable, very popular right now, and is still very, very much so on the rise. If you make this kind of your cornerstone, the branch from this as a core to other people that would then enjoy like cinematic hymn remixes and like scoring for like an indie Christian film or whatever it would be, right? The branch from that is way easier to get to than starting on the periphery up here and bringing it in and trying to get people to follow other stuff, right? You're sounding like my brother now. He wants me to just do metal. And I want you to do it all, but like not at the expense of like missing out on this stuff. Cause I just know and this is less about the quality of it, less about like you being good at doing these things. And is more about like, how are you going to get things out there and how many people are going to encounter it? I know more people will encounter this just naturally. They'll encounter stuff like this at a much larger scale. It's more palatable for people. And the branch from that, I think, will be more powerful for the brand of your other music. You know what I mean? Like for Testament worship, for the cinematic remixes, for all of this stuff over here. This is a bigger hub. This is like a bigger nucleus, a more powerful nucleus for your music, and you're more likely, I think, to get traction for other stuff if this does well, as opposed to vice versa. It'll be hard to get this stuff to do well if people are like, if people come to you for testament worship, and then over here you're doing like really heavy metal stuff. That's harder. It's harder to bridge that gap than people that really love this like amazing metal, and then they find like cinematic worship music from it. I think that's an easier through line. So anyways, that's loose perspective. I don't have science behind that. Fowler, welcome back. Good to see you. You know what I mean? Like I don't have this like perfectly laid out, but I do feel like you're more likely if you shift perspective a little bit. That might not be as enjoyable for you. It might not even be the direction you want to look right now. You're doing a lot in the other space. So I'm not trying to discourage you from doing that in any way, but that's like my gut reaction right here is like, dude, you're so good at this, and you're working with some other people that are so good at it. And I know as a fact, nearly, maybe a fact, that this would do really well for you, just because it's so much more palatable. Okay, let's run it from the top, man. This is Masquerade by Derek Bennett. You're a beast, man. I mean, this sounds awesome. This is not mixed, and it sounds awesome. The structure's great. It's still mixed. I think it's still missing some harmonies and screams, like you said, maybe. It has a ton of potential. So I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of see where this goes.
This mask is cracking in my hands, and I don't know who I am. Hiding.
This has a little 80s as to it. There's something about like these like early vocals that remind me of the 80s a little bit too. Wrote this over a year ago. I just looked at the file. Yeah, man. I think it's time to I'm gonna push a little bit. Like I think it's time to dust some of this off, man, and bring it to life again.
This mask is cracking in my hands, and I don't know who I am. Hiding in plain sight, running from the light. You see through this mask afraid. You know the face behind the name I've made.
Good lyric structure.
You pulled the veil, the truth revealed.
That makes sense. I was gonna say just a little bit of even like vocal phrasing here, but also just some of the edge of the production. I like it. I mean, I like it.
You loved me anyway.
Teddy, welcome in.
You see through this masquerade. Good at blending in with a face that fit in. Set the lines and played the part underneath our fell apart. Forgetting who I need to be.
I love it.
Somewhere under make believe. This mask is cracking in my head.
Okay, so this is the hook, right? I'm gonna chop.
I built these walls. This time I didn't play. All this time I don't know who I am.
What's the actual hook? What's the actual hook here?
Masquerade, good at believe. This mask is cracking in my head. I don't know who I am. Hiding in plain sight, running from the light. You see through this.
So
This mask is cracking in my head.
that's okay. That's the hook. I see.
You see through this mask afraid. Good at blending in. Somewhere cracking in my head.
I see. Okay. Now it's making more sense. I thought that was a verse at first, so now it's coming together.
Every so I built the that I thought I know. Breaking the thing. You saw past this.
Okay, so we have our first hooks here.
This mask is cracking in my hands, and I don't know who I am. hiding.
If you're gonna, yeah, I would do 3 hooks. I would do 3 hooks because again, structurally speaking, it's on initial listen. It's a little confusing to listen to, knowing because then what it kind of feels like is you have kind of a hook structure, but it's not as recognizable because the dynamics are so different, right? Super slow, super low, super high. The vocal sounds completely different in those 2 registers. So just in first listen. So then you end your hook at like 1:47. Or like 2. So the last hook that we have ends at 2 minutes. The last hook ends at 2 minutes. So then the next 2 minutes of the song never really revisits any of that. And so it's just like a really drawn out like next verse and bridge kind of, and that it never like quite reaches a repetitive structure. And I do think that is going to make it quite a bit less catchy, like quite a bit less, just your ability to like recognize it and remember that hook, I think is going to be quite a bit more. What am I saying? The ability to recognize it is going to be quite a bit less. Just because you have a really low one that starts, but you don't as a first listen, you don't know if it's a verse or a hook yet until the next verse happens, and the next hook happens right there. That's your first chance to be like, I think that's kind of what I just heard a little bit, but then it never happens again. So then it kind of floats away. Definitely old Derek structure, 100%, right? So and it's a 4.5-minute song. So you can play around with, if you want to like remove a part of the bridge or something and go here. And this verse.
Spotlight, I'm putting on a show with a smile so big that they don't know.
And then hook. Go straight into the hook right there and give it some more snap and more punch right there. I think that'd be a great place, like kind of ending once you jump the octave in that second verse. Go straight into another hook right there, even if you copied over, maybe whatever. You can go straight into another hook right there. And then if you want to do an ending bridge or a tag or something, you can. It won't be as necessary if you do another hook, but I do definitely feel like it needs another hook because you just have the low and high, and there's not a lot of time to like remember it, to recognize it, to really latch onto it. And I would love to get a little bit more energy out of that. I do think it would really help with, people latching onto the song, remembering it. It is a really impressive vocal as well. So I want that to come through in that register and it not just be like 2 extra verses and bridges that they get it. So I would personally hit the high notes here at the end of the second verse, go straight into da 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 da. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hardo, appreciate it. Go straight back into a hook right there. If you want to do another bridge, you can, but I would just slim it down because you're already at 412. You're already at 412. So if you just add a hook in and keep going from there, then you're going to be at like 5 minutes. And that's we're getting longer and longer here. So I do think you can probably slim it down, do a hook, maybe cut the bridge in half, or just go a quick bridge, last hook or something like that, and then outro. Let me get the last outro here. But man, I really like the production. I really want you to do more stuff like this, man. You're super good at it. Seb, welcome in. Solo, welcome in. You're really talented at this stuff, man. Seriously, this is, this to me, it gets me really excited at the prospect of like you getting more traction for everything that you do, with this being, even if it's just more of a hub, even if it's like more of a nucleus, it doesn't, just making sure like, yeah, for every 5, thank you for the heart meet, thank you for the pop as well, appreciate you. Even if you continue to make some of the score stuff, you continue to do the cinematic hymns, you still do some of that stuff. If you're going to do 8 of those every month, make sure you at least get 2 of these every month. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to put that much effort into all that, definitely make sure that there's an undercurrent of this style because it is going to attract a lot of people to your music and branch out to, to other stuff that you're doing. Seb, if you want to submit, go to the link in my bio. Everything's right there.
Dressed in deception, fabricated. You saw past this mask, saw the fear, the shame, the fight, and you brought me to the light. You weren't afraid of what you felt. You stood with me on fragile ground. Strip the silence from
Great
my
voice.
skin and let me heal again.
Dude, it reminds me of Red. Do you remember Red? 100%, Burnham, 100%. Y'all remember Red back in the day? Reminds me a lot of, it's the cinematic, like, Lost in You. That's what it's reminding me of. Lost in You by Red. Yeah, Lost in You by Red is like what I would like reference. really cinematic piano lines, kind of a foundation of strings and stuff, but then like snappy drums and a lot of push over the top of that. I think that'd be a good reference. They're from Nashville, saw them live several times. Oh, let's go. Fire. Dude, I haven't heard them in so long. It's making me want to go back and listen to the title album. It's been so long since I've heard. It's been like 15 years since I've heard them. I need to go back. Crazy. I was like, dude, because I don't hear a lot of this, especially from you in the context that I know from you. And I was like, wait, hold on. You know what this is reminding me of? Is like that early album. It's making me want to go back and blast that for a little bit. Throwback, some nostalgia here as well. Y'all show some love to the family, the legend in the chat, Derek Bennett. Love and appreciate what you do so much. Thank you for sending this in, man. I'm going to push you on this. Every time you send in another track, and we're like, okay, did you create another one of these? I think you're doing awesome, man. I think this is definitely in a lane. This is definitely in a lane that I think you could thrive in, man, and still do everything. So it's kind of the same thing for me. Like I talk to Libby all the time. She probably gets, I have a hard time focusing on anything, much less what I want to do in my music. But there's oftentimes like, dude, I want to do a lo-fi album. I want to do a house album. I want to do a synthwave album. I want to do that. I want to do like all of these different things. And I think sometimes it's important to create like what is kind of like the nucleus of what you do that's going to get the most people engaged with your brand and your music and what you're doing. And from there, you can kind of branch out. Like for me, that's been like 80s stuff, right? Like, synth pop, dream pop, 80s pop, stuff like that. That has become a lot of like, even if my stylistic stuff in my own music moves around a little bit, the core of it is like synth heavy, the pacing of it, stuff like that. A lot of the sound design is kind of built around, synthesis and things of that nature. And so if I do these other things, it kind of branches out away from that nucleus that is my love for 80s sound design and analog synths and all the stuff that I have here in the studio. And so I think that's something that I think you have the power to do, is if you can build a stronger, more consistent nucleus for your sound, for your brand, whatever it is, you can kind of branch from there and do anything that you want. Because like I heard when I started this, like this still has the Derek Bennett identity. It still has your fingerprint on it. And I do think that it's really engaging to listen to, man. You do it really well. Y'all show some love to Derek. I'm gonna rock that during my workout tonight. I know, seriously, that's throwing me back. From Indonesia, can you play my own song? Absolutely, I can. If you want to submit your music, go to the link in my bio, and then just follow the steps there, and we'll get you up on the board ready to go. The line is in the same place that you're submitting as well. All right, y'all show some love to Derek Bennett. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling here. We're going to keep things moving. We've got Daniel Kearney in the building. This is called Comfort. This is another early demo, looking for some direction again, and any feedback would be appreciated. This is the first track of the EP, so it's super important we get the vibe right. Good to know. Context on positioning of a song is always good to know. Y'all do me a huge favor, too. If y'all are over on TikTok, tap the screen like crazy. We're going to try to get to 20,000 likes. Tap the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget your heart me. It does really help out the live stream as well. And then once again, if you would like to submit your music for a consultation, 20 to 30 minute, multiple listen, deep dive consultation, everything is at the link in my bio. If you're on the purple app over here, you can type ! Submit in the chat. If you're on the red app, you can go to the description for the live stream and the link is right there. Let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. This is Daniel in the building. And this is the intro for the EP, so we're going to keep that in mind as well. Appreciate you, man.
We went on different ways tonight.
And also keep in mind, this is an early demo. This is not mixed or anything.
What if I compromised and tried? Would you forgive my petty crimes just for one day? Take it up from me, this hate and misery, just for a night. Take from me painfully, hold me for a while. my happy place. Your tired, weary eyes are
What's up,
painting
Soul Power?
you a
Welcome in.
disguise for me. Now I'm left here waiting for your call. Do you even care at all? Tears I've wept here. Do you even realize the pain? Are you satisfied?
Is there going to be more lyric structure there? What's up, Glitch?
Don't hold out for me. I've been afraid. I've been afraid. Don't hold on for me. I'm in too late.
Okay, got you.
I give and
Love the minor push.
Don't hold out for me. I've been afraid. I've been afraid.
I like the progression a lot.
Don't hold on for me. I'm in too late. I give and take.
There's a lot that I like about this, man. This is great. Y'all show some, oops, playing again. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love, show some love. Let me make sure I finish this here. Show some love to the family, man. It's really, structure's really good. We're going to talk about a couple things. I think there's a couple places in here that we can kind of consolidate. We can maybe shorten the interlude. We can either fill in an interlude or shorten it to get, I think, more beneficial information in the structure in here. Oh, no, it's very sweet. There is, a couple different parts that I think we can, like I said, fill in some information or take out some in order to consolidate this and make it like more beneficial when you're listening to it. Like when these interludes with the guitar happen again, they matter more when they're there because of kind of where they're positioned. There's also a couple layering things I think we can do to make this as easy to listen to as possible. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details, but y'all please show some love to Daniel. Daniel, you know I love what you do. I love what you do. I think you're very talented, man. You have a great ear for the music. So I'm thrilled to break this down and to get into some of these details here. So let's run it from the top. We'll talk about a couple things.
We went our different ways tonight. Was it something that I said?
First thing that I would do here, man. I mean, again, there's nothing I really dislike about what's happening here. I'll throw out some ideas. I'll get your wheel spinning. That's all I kind of want to do, is get you thinking about a couple different things. But none of this is stuff that you have to put in or it's like going to make it, a different song or anything like that. I would love to get a double on your vocal right off the bat. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Is it Squaky? Am I saying that? Mr. Squaky or Squawky? Thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate you being here. Over there, just go to the description for the live stream. There's a link there, and it'll take you to where you submit and the line and all of that good stuff. We're getting into the space of closing up here in just a little bit, so I'll take a handful more songs. But we're going to close up here pretty soon. But yeah, you can definitely still submit there. All right, let's yeah, I love the raw feel of it. I will have think Beatles, but not Beatles. I just want to give you the kind of perspective on the song itself, not necessarily what I want you to copy, but that kind of a doubled vocal where you have a really nice unison vocal, either panned outside of each other, you can play around with that, or next to each other pretty close. Squaky? Okay, got you. I appreciate you. Thanks for tapping in. That's kind of what I'm looking at, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at as far as like having a double right there. For one, it's just going to fill in a little bit more information. It's going to make this a little bit more, there's more texture, more character in the song right now. Is very, and I don't mind a lot of this, but it's very, very dry to where you have like very dry drums. We do have a double vocal the entire song. Let me see. Sebastian, I got you. Thank you so much for your submission. Let me see. Let's see what's going on here. Where'd the track go? Where'd it go? Here we go.
But if I compromise,
There's a double on this vocal? There's no double on this vocal. Are my ears deceiving themselves? Is it a duplicated double or a double track? Let me know that. That might answer our question.
we went on different ways tonight. Was it something that I said?
Because there's no other vocal there. Unless it's a duplicated vocal and it's collapsed back to mono because of phase issues. That's the only, unless it's 60 dB lower.
What if I compromised and tried? Would you forgive my petty crimes?
Yeah, there's no way there's another vocal there. Because I'm listening. Was it tracked again? Was it like you recorded two different variations of the vocal, or was it doubled? Like, was it duplicated in the DAW?
Just for one day, take it up from me, this hate and misery. Just for a night.
Yeah. So if it is there and it is double tracked, and it is there, it needs to be like 25 dB louder. I need to pull it way forward. Because I do want that texture and that beating and that frequency rub from chorusing those vocals. Just like a lot of 50, 60 stuff. Like I want a little bit of that air of, you do have like some of the dead drums, you do have some like dry acoustics and stuff like that. So it'd be nice to get some of that separation and some of that rub that happens. Thank you for the heart me, I appreciate it. That happens by having those doubles in there. Right now, yeah, they're either if they're recorded twice, either you are just getting some pretty dramatic phase issues and it is collapsing. There are really close tracks or whatever. But I would love to hear a double, a present double there that's obvious in the mix, that gives you that chorusing, that gives you some of that doubled effect right there. I do think that'll kind of wake up the vocal mix a little bit and give it some processed, feel and some natural chorusing without you needing to add a lot of effects and stuff like that. I think it'd be nice to get a little bit of that energy there. Let me keep it rolling here. That's one of the few things that I hear in here as far as like, additives that we can have, is just giving it some of that edge. If you would like to submit, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but if you would like to submit, go to the link in my bio. Everything's right there. I'll be closing up the line here in just a little bit, so just keep that in mind.
Take from me painfully, hold me for a while.
Oops, where did it go? Hold on. They moved it over here. Oops. Oops. There we go. Okay. Let me hear how long this goes. I think we should just do one turnaround, probably, or two tops. Yeah, it does a full like four measure turnarounds right there back into it. I would highly recommend, let me back this up here a little bit. I would do one or two. I think it does a full 4. So we have like a full like 16 bars of this guitar interlude. It's largely the same sound design, the same dynamic, the same actual turnaround right there as well. So I think shortening that a little bit and then coming back into it. So if you're F sharp major here, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And you do this twice, maybe. Dun, 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 dun. Back to back into the lyric structure, right? I think just like maybe one turnaround might be enough. Max of 2. I think if you go to 3, 4, which is where we're at now, it's just 2 run on for how much change there is and how much information there. Welcome back, Jenna. For how much information is there. Just because nothing really changes. There's no really any additive information. The only other way I think you could expand it is if you like do the harmony to the electric guitar with something else, you know, like you start with the, and then you add like the third note harmony on the opposite side of the mix or something like that. Like you can wake it up a little bit. We can have a little bit more, even seeing you listen to it, I was like, maybe, yeah. It's really funny though, Daniel. Sometimes like it just takes you, I mean, honestly, that's one of the benefits of this. Obviously, hopefully one of the biggest benefits is the information that we talk about. Another one, we don't get a chance very often to watch other people consume our art. You know what I mean? It's not very often that happens, right? Like it's not very often that you make a piece of art and then you just stare at people staring at your piece of art. That's very unique and uncomfortable experience. And so there is some benefit, although I'm trying to look at it from a perspective of a producer and a musician and whatever, like, and an engineer, like I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm also just consuming it. I'm also just listening and seeing what happens in it. And so I do think there is some benefit to kind of watching like that pattern recognition slowly turn off and some of the like the repetition kick in and then like see the brain slowly kind of lose focus or like think if anything else is going to happen. You can actually watch that happen in real time, which is powerful. So there's some additional benefit to just seeing people go through that process. It is a full like 16 here, and that's pretty long. So one thing you can do, like just as I'll back it up here for a second. Let's say we do two. Let's say we do two full turnarounds of that melody with the guitar right there. On the second time, again, with small little changes. What if you add another layer of the guitar to do the harmony, right? So let this build in. Let's see where it comes in here.
Just for me painfully, hold me for a while.
Here. And then right here, or whatever, right? Like kind of, and then verse right there. Like, I think that to me, and I'll do that with the guitar, another layer of the guitar I think would be better. But it's like you start with the dun 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 dun. Great turnaround, great like top melody right there. I love it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Keep that melody. Do it one more time with like the harmony to the guitar. And then this one is panned to the left side a little bit. So then add the, you know, if you do a secondary guitar on the right side, doing the harmony, do the secondary guitar on the right side a little bit, offset this way 60% or whatever, and balance out that melody and the harmony right there. Once you do one turnaround here, cut and go straight back to the verse again. That will make this, that'll consolidate this a little bit. It's going to save you like 20 seconds, 25 seconds, you know, maybe 20 seconds. The song now becomes 3 minutes and 20 seconds instead of 3:40. We're starting to consolidate. We're starting to kind of like, you know, bridge that gap a little bit and make this feel a little bit more concise and important to listen to, because every little step of the way, every four measures, there's a little bit of some new information that makes it more interesting to listen to. So that's little things like that, right? Whether it's like bringing up the double so that vocal feels more interesting to engage with on a very simple production. So there's more interesting aspects there. In tandem to, but thank you for the heartbeat. I appreciate it. In tandem to having more steps of dynamics in your production on these interludes, and then maybe cutting them a little bit shorter. Now let's get to the second verse here. We'll keep it rolling.
Happy place, your tired, weary eyes.
Hey, thank you so much, Tree Studios. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for tapping in.
Now I'm left here, waiting for
And you can still keep this really simple. I don't mind that.
Do you even care at all? Tears I've wept here. Do you even realize the pain?
There's some of the same melodies there from the guitar, which I think is great. And then this definitely needs more vocal there, or it needs a turnaround. It feels like there's not an ending to that verse, and I do think that it needs an ending to the verse. Do you think the second space, then we reintroduce it instead of leaving it open or putting in a lyric? Like reintroducing the guitar melody? Is that what you're talking about? I think we need to finish the melody and then go back to the guitar again. I think I haven't, Nick. I have not. I'll try to check for that after the live. But yeah, I think on this little pocket right here, I think it needs the full like 16 measures there for that like vocal to complete. I think we can add a little bit, we can take it away. Like we can build maybe the dynamics and the production slightly if you want to. But I do like when I heard it stop, the reason why I asked, is there going to be lyrics there, is because it feels like it needs it. It feels like we're missing a part of the song right there. I paid the 10, then went to submit and I didn't recognize that I paid for a skip. How did you pay for the skip? Because it's not here. I have Sebastian. Where'd you find the Venmo? You went through Aux and you went through the submission page and submitted through there? Let me see. Everything's been working great, so I hope there's not some glitch or something like that. I don't think so. Everything should be connected. Let me double check something. Is it PS? Is that you? Okay, so that is you there. Exactly. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. Sorry. Yeah, so I got the 10 there. So I think you didn't go to the submission page. You went to the like additive page where you can add to your skip there. So if you go now, it's going to be in a different spot. Okay, because we had to add that yesterday because there were some glitches in the system, so it kind of made it annoying to work with. So we added that, but we still need to edit it. So that's my bad. I can get you send your file or a link to Track Talk submission. Let me double check here real quick. Yeah, Track Talk submission at gmail.com. Send it there. That's my other email for submissions there from the old platform we were using. I need to readjust that because the live was having some issues the other day. It's been fixed now, but that's why there's 2 links. I was trying to make sure people could still submit at the other one. So that's why it's a little bit confusing. So go to just your file, your link, what an MP3 wave, Spotify, YouTube, whatever it is. Send it to Track Talk submission at gmail.com. And if you have any issues with that, let me know. But that I do have. Exactly. That way, yeah, perfect. I'll get your email over on that one, and then I'll play it in the order that I got it there, because that did come in a minute ago. I just saw the notification on Venmo, but I didn't have any submission on the website. That's why I was confused. So I got you. You should be ready to go. Just send that and your information. You can dump in that email right there as well. Anything you want me to know about the song, and then we're gonna go ahead and probably close up the line. So give me a sec here. Close submissions. Let's go ahead and close it up here. But then, yeah, you'll probably close us out today. Brielle, we'll do one more song through the platform, and then I'll finish up with your song over there. That we have a little bit of time to get what you need over there. Okay. Dude, it's so catchy. It's a good melody, and it also is stuck in my head. Also, why? Because we have that guitar melody. That guitar melody solidifies it. So that's the reason why I tell y'all to have musical hooks. Having musical hooks is vital to your song doing well. Every song that you love has a musical hook as well as an instrumental hook. Okay. So here.
Tears of wept here. Do you even realize the pain?
And then one more turn around here. You say, guitar.
Don't hold out.
You could maybe bring the guitar underneath there, and
I've been afraid. I've been afraid. Don't hold on for me. I'm in too late. I give
or as an interlude after this. You do go into a strict hook, so I do think that that's helpful. On the vocal side, like we said, get that double forward a little bit and then bring in some harmonies to help support that a little bit as well. To me, that's vital to waking up a lot of the input right there and making it feel like it's got a little bit more energy, a bit more vibrancy to it as well. Not just the melody and the double of the melody, but actually like the third note harmony as well. Honestly, that's one of the themes of what I'm talking about here is like on the guitar part as you're looping it forward, adding the harmony on the right side, I think would be beneficial, if not even just a double of it. Same thing on the vocal side, bringing doubles forward, adding in third note harmonies there as well to give it a little bit more push, a little bit more energy there. It's just kind of waking up the like chordal information of the song. So it's like very on the nose, right? Here's the exact chord, exact progression, but there's not a lot of steps in that information right there of like harmonics, and other tension in the song. It's very, very clean on the guitar melody, the drums, the guitars and stuff like that. And I want it to obviously sound clean sonically, but from like a production standpoint and a progression standpoint, I would love a little bit of tension, and having those harmonies definitely helps fill out that information a little bit more. Chani, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Foreign songs are 100%. Any language, any style, any genre. Excuse me. Absolutely any style, any genre, any language, anything like that. We'll do our best to break it down and get into the details of it. We're closed for today, but I'm going to take a handful of songs that I already have right here. And then I'll open up the line again tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll take maybe a little bit of a shorter live, but I will take a handful of songs. So definitely tap in tomorrow. Make sure that you're all following here on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok. And we'll open up the lines again and hopefully get to a handful of y'all songs as well. I think you visit this for us. Dude, 100%, Daniel, 100%. Man, y'all please show some love. Show some love. And thank you for the follow. Shani, I really appreciate that so much. Thank you for that. That's a lot of love. I appreciate the support. Hopefully we can get to your song tomorrow or some of the future. We're going to be doing a lot of lives this next week. So I definitely want to make sure we can tap in with a few of y'all then. But y'all, please show some love to Daniel. Daniel, you already know I love what you do. This is going to be, I think for me, this is going to be more exciting to listen to, more emotional to listen to. Even as you get deeper into the song, it's also going to be more concise. It's going to have a little bit more like, more of a journey to it, a little bit more emotional, a little bit more emotion to it. And I think that's going to really help elevate it and kind of push it to the next level as well, man. And especially as a first song for the album, I think that's going to be a huge jump for you. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Daniel. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, keep it going. So we got two more songs. We got Sebastian and Brielle. Brielle, I have your submission over here. I'll just wait for, let me see. Let me know when you send the email just so I can confirm it went to the right place, and then I see everything that I need. I don't see anything yet. So I just want to make sure that I keep in touch so that I can be on the lookout for your song as well whenever you send it in. All right, we got Sebastian in the building. Sebastian, hop in the chat. Let me know where you're at, and we're going to get into it. This is Two Ends of a Smile by Sebastian. Haven't mixed the song at all. It's all my production and vocals and writing. How can I give the song more movement in the second half? How can I figure out where should I have a double? Any feedback how to make the song better? Really, any is welcome. How can I make the outro transition better? Are lyrics needed, or can it just be instrumental? And if so, how can I make it more impactful? Because I'm also thinking of just cutting the outro and having it be only 2 minutes. Okay, let's get into it. This is Two Ends of a Smile by Sebastian. Let's get it. That's okay, bro, right here in the chat. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate the help. And just so y'all know, we are closed for today. We got one more song after this one. We're closed, so just make sure that you're following if you want to get your song heard tomorrow.
What it means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, just keep me weak. It means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, just keep me weak. I don't understand why I feel if your plans that I win the night. All I thought was gonna hit the right with these DS up in my mind. She told me that she loved me, though I don't feel that vibe. I guess it's just in my mind, I guess you're right. Cause you're texting me, no stack. Got X on me on my chest, stay less of me and my, less of me and my, less of me and my ex. Cause these hoes, they know I get attached. I lose myself in a swap that just one little dose and a feelings back. I swear this so what it means to me, it means to me, it means
Good
to
structure.
me.
That's catchy.
I hope
It's
you
catchy.
know you're hurting me, just keep me weak. It means to me, it means to me, it means to me, what it means to me.
That's very catchy.
I hope you know you're hurting me, girl, let me free. I told you it means more, but seems that it don't mean shit to you. Guess the photo flashing hit my phone, I'm crashing out on you. Yes, I told you I need you right now. But I guess the silence louder than the words you didn't say. sound, but you don't understand what I said. You rather play these games, you rather do, but I don't understand. Play my part, tell me you're on the way, then you start break my heart. If she just understood that by the time that said so, dripping off that fade, then you call me, why you calling me we? As if we don't really know what that means. I really played out the scene, please don't leave, but I gotta just leave. What it means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, just keep me weak. It means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, girl, let me free her.
I like these chops. I know this is an early demo, but there's a lot of like great parts of the structure in here. Yeah, I like the production.
Used to mean more to me, now it means more to you. I'm just so tired, I'm so tired of that fucking truth. Used to mean more to you, now it means more to me. I got so tired of that fucking truth.
Y'all show some love, show some love. That is Two Ends of a Smile by Sebastian right here in the chat. Let's run it straight from the top. Let's dive into some of the details here. We'll get into some of the structure. I really like the production, and I do like the song structure. So the song structure to me is really distinct. You have a really palatable hook that is catchy, it's sticky, it's gluey. That means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. That's so catchy. I mean, that repetition over the course of the song to me is gold. That's a really, really solid, like really, really catchy hook. I think we can have a little bit more. I know this is early, so keep in mind as I say something. This is a super early demo. This is not even mixed at all. I think we can have a little bit more intention behind some of the peripheral songwriting and like melody choices and stuff like that. Some of them feel kind of unfinished. They're kind of mumbled through, and I don't mind some of like the mumbled lyrics and less less structured lyrics. Should have gotten it, Brielle. I appreciate you so much. I don't mind because not every song has to be perfectly legible, so I'm not really too worried about that. But there's a couple parts in the B section of the song in the outro here, like you mentioned earlier, that the lyrics and kind of what you're doing within those lyrics doesn't feel like the most intentional, and it doesn't feel like the most structured. The melodies are kind of floating around. Some of the lyrics feel like they kind of swap perspectives a couple times, and I wish there was like a little bit more pointed, a little bit more intentional. I do think people will grab onto it easier. I do think that they'll relate to it easier just because you're a little bit more solid and intentional with the way that you build those lyrics. They can also come with just retracking, better structure in the lyrics and things like that. But overall, like the production itself and the hook, I'm really enjoying. Production itself and the hook, I'm really enjoying. So I really want to get into some of the vocal structure here. It's 3 minutes and 10 seconds or so. I don't think you need to cut the outro out necessarily. That's a 3-minute song essentially with fades or whatever. That's not a long song. If you want a short song or like a radio edit, you could cut the beat change in the outro there and make this more concise and more sharp. Definitely. That's obviously up to you if you want to have like two versions or a shortened one and it feels like a little bit more concise. Definitely. That's definitely an option. But I don't think it feels long. I think it feels engaging, and I feel like the dynamics are cool. It's going to come down to how we can build out the vocals over this. Let's run it from the top. And then Brielle, we're going to close it up with you. Thank you so much. I did get your email. Like even this early vocal right here, like these early vocal ad-libs, they feel a little bit like inconsistent in your execution of them. And so I would love for them to feel a little bit more intentional. I say intentional a lot, but a little bit more intentional. I think a little bit more on purpose. So I like kind of know what's happening there, what's being said, why it's there. That or just process them more to where they're more background. They're more of a sample in the background that's being filtered up. Maybe they're kind of locked in just a little bit as well. Leo, thanks for tapping in. Leo, I really appreciate you being here. I don't have my closed sign over on YouTube and Twitch yet. Yeah, I need to add that in tomorrow maybe. But the line is officially closed for today. So sorry, it doesn't represent it right there. It'll say closed in the submission form anyway, so that that makes it easier. But everything's at the link in my description for y'all over on YouTube. If you want to kind of see where things are, but it is going to say closed submissions for now. I'll be live again probably tomorrow. I think tomorrow afternoon I'll be live for just a few hours. We'll take a handful of songs, do our typical full breakdowns then. But yeah, unfortunately, close for today. We're gonna do one more song after this. Of course. I appreciate you being here.
What it means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're
I do need to, I keep forgetting to add the close sign over there, so my bad.
It means to me, it means to me, it means to me.
I mean, that's catchy. That's very, very catchy. There's no getting around that. That's very, very catchy.
I hope you know you're hurting me, just keep me awake.
I don't understand why I feel if your plans are down in the night. All done is gonna hit the right with these DLs up in my mind. She told me that she love me, though I don't feel that vibe. I guess it's just in my mind. I guess you're right, cause you're texting me, no stack.
Are you live on June 10th? I have a remaster version of my first album coming out that day, and I was curious to know what you'd think of one of the songs. June 10th. Let me see. I don't know if I can see that far ahead. My schedule's a little. I do these live streams kind of in between all of the other work that I do here in the studio, so it kind of depends. The 10th, I'll probably be out of town on the 10th. I think I'll be live Monday. I'll be live a little bit tomorrow. I'll be live Monday. Maybe Tuesday, probably not. I'll probably be out Wednesday. I'll be back live on Thursday, most likely. My schedule's all over the place. But I'll be out of town, I think probably, I've just found out actually. I'll be out of town probably most of Wednesday. But then I'll most likely be back on Thursday.
X on me on my chest, ayy. Less of me and my, less of me and my, less of me and my ex. Cause these hoes, they know I get attached. I lose myself and I swear off that. Just one little dose and I'm feeling back. I swear this so what it means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me.
Okay, so let's go over the verses just really, I think we can move fairly quickly, but like going over the verses just really briefly. Your hook is so solid and clean. Again, this is unmixed. These are like demos. These are early. Right? Of course, man. I appreciate you, Leo. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. The hook is so clean. It means to me. It means to me. It means to me. It means to me. It's so good. It's so clean. It's so repetitive. So catchy. That feels very, even though it's unmixed, it feels very polished. That feels very straightforward. I love that, dude. I think that's fantastic. On the verses, I want a little bit more conviction. I want a little bit more, a little bit more feeling behind what you're saying. It feels like we're kind of just there reading. We're kind of just getting into it. And then the melody choices are kind of just controlled by the auto-tune. They're just kind of controlled by the auto-tune. They don't feel as intentional. So I would love for you to kind of get into these and pinpoint them a little bit more. Let me see. I want to hear I want it to feel like a little bit more consistent, a little bit more like strength behind them, even if it's chill. Like, I mean, when I say strength, you don't need to be yelling your lyrics and like over enunciating. It's not what I'm trying to do. It's not what you're trying to do in your song. You can still keep it low key, moody, chill, low energy to some extent, while having a little bit more like purpose and intention, I think, behind those lyrics. And the pitch of them, right? Like we've talked a little bit about before too, of making sure that when you're singing these things, you're not at the whim of the auto-tune and the auto-tune's just kind of taking you wherever it goes. But you are a little bit more intentional with what melodies you're hitting and comping those in and fading them, right? Of making sure like each melody that you target, the that those feel like really distinct. Like those feel like intentional, they feel on purpose. Whether it takes manual corrections like we talked about in the past and other lives and stuff of like using Melodyne to manually correct some of these melodies so that they're very consistent every single time that you hit them. Right now, I think because of the way those melodies shift around a little bit too much and the auto-tune kind of corrects up when it should correct down, there's some of those moments that just feel less polished. They feel more amateur, even though it's unmixed. They feel more amateur. And I think if those melodies were sharper and a little bit cleaner in your execution of them, the whole verse will feel just as polished as the hook. Because if you show people the hook, especially as it's mixed with that production, with the progression, and with your main hook structure. If you show people that hook, people will be locked in. It's a really, really catchy hook and it's executed really well. But if you flow into the verse and it kind of goes all over the place and is at the whim of the tuning, then that's where you're going to lose people a little bit and it's going to feel a little bit less, people are going to connect to it a little bit less. So I think the more intention and the more impact you give those lyrics and the way that you record your melodies and how consistent you are with that, the more polished this is going to feel. Hook sounds great. Even unmixed. The hook sounds great, and I think it's a great hook. It's really catchy. So let's polish up some of the melodic structure for the verses and get that locked in. Same thing with the intro, right? Some of those interludes and stuff right there. All right, let's get into the second section here.
You attitude, but I don't understand. Play my part, tell me you're on the way. Then you start, break my heart. If she just understands.
I like where you're introducing doubles though. You asked a little bit about the doubles, I think, in the message there. I like it. So you have some like in and outs and some accent vocals. I love that. Dun, 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 like having the doubles right there. Like you do that really well. There's some great accents in there. Doubling everything on the hook, I think, is a great move. I would keep that very, very consistent. I think you're doing a good job on the doubles from what I'm hearing here.
Please don't leave, but I gotta just leave. What it means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, just keep me weak. It means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, girl, let me free her.
Let me free. And what would be really cool here is to chop. You have some chops of your sampling behind it. It would be really cool to like chop some of your vocal here as well. What's up, Nick? Welcome in. It'd be really cool to chop some of your vocal as well, and so it doesn't just become an instrumental interlude where you lose interest a little bit. You lose some of the lyric structure and stuff like that. If you have this,
it means to me. I hope you know you're hurting me, girl. Let me free her.
So let me free. You know what I mean? Like, means to me. Let me free. And even like long delay tails, stuff like that. Do however you want, not the way I'm doing it. Whatever makes sense there, but it just keeps you in the song. So we're not just all of a sudden just hearing a loop of a sample chop with a pad in the background, but you're still a part of that equation. You can tuck that way back. You can filter it. You could, form it, shift it up with a little altar boy or something like that. Like you can do some stuff to it, but like connect it to the production a little bit there. So we don't just lose you for a while and then you come back in with kind of a random vocal structure at the end here.
Used to mean more to me, now it means more to you. I'm just so tired.
Now to your point, I don't mind some of the outro. The lyric structure coming in here, this extends the song a decent amount. So kind of to your point, it extends the song a little bit here. And I don't think like the lyrics that you bring in here and the melodies you bring in here add a lot to what you've already done. You've already done some great stuff, right? You're going to polish up those melodies and your harmonies there. The hook is going to be gold. It's going to be catchy as hell. This extra part here, to me, it doesn't like add a lot of like new beneficial information to the song. It kind of is just extra there after a long break. I would almost rather you just go take out the vocals here and start to fade out with some of these instrumentals here and just like do a classic like 90s fade out of 80s 90s fade out of like the last like 8 seconds here with your vocal in there and like have some of these chops in there, maybe even extra parts of the hook. Me, it means to me, it means to me, and just keep fading. It means to me, means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. You know what I mean? Like, and just fade this out. Easy. You know what I mean? Like that's such an easy way for you to, for one, you're going to close the song at like 2:45. Nick, thank you for the follow. It's going to close the song at like 2:45, so that's way more likely to get placed. That's way better for playlisting. That's way better for consumption, for retail retention, for all of that stuff. Man, replay value. It's a little bit sharper. You're going to knock 20 seconds off of the song, 20, 30 seconds off the song. It's going to be sharp, better, cleaner fade out. I would just go back into another hook, like right here. I got to bring it back. Hold on. It means to me, and add the chops. It means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. You set me free, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me, it means to me. Start fading when the drums come in. It means to me, it means to me, and then close from there. That to me is like really concise. So take your last hook and just double it, basically, and then add chops to the double. If you just go from the last chop right there, you go, okay, sounds good. I know I'll double check a couple messages from yesterday. I appreciate it, man. Go back through and go like copy that hook over one more time and then create some chops within that hook and process it a little bit differently. Maybe you go up an octave, maybe you format shift everything up so it's got a cool effect to it on the last hook, chop from there. And then once the drums come in, drums to outro, you fade that in over that last like 8 seconds right there, and then cut the last part with the vocals. Song's 20 seconds shorter, the whole format's way more concise, you get an extra hook so it's more catchy, everything improves, right? Every little part of the song structure has a big boost in your ability to relate this to people. So y'all, show some love, man. Show some love to Sebastian. Jerry, I appreciate the follow. Could you do my song till the end? Jerry Stank, line is closed for today. Line is closed for today. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon, most likely. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. I'm not positive on the time. It depends on some other projects, some other work I got to get done earlier in the day. So if you want to submit, just make sure everybody that you're following on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, subscribe where you can. It will definitely help us out. We'll be live again tomorrow. We'll get everything moving. Yeah, it's a super catchy song. The hook is incredibly engaging, man. Y'all show some love to Sebastian. I appreciate you. Yeah, we're live right now on all 3 platforms. Stay engaged, stay following, turn on notifications, and we might do some early submissions for a couple lives in this coming week as well, to get some people in here sooner. Okay, we're gonna close it up with the last one from Brielle right here in the chat. Brielle, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. If you happen to not be here, for anyone who happens to not be here, your lives are always saved to YouTube. So every single time that we do a breakdown, we do a consultation. Every single one of these videos are saved over to YouTube as a VOD. You can find the Track Talk live stream playlist and go back through any of the songs that you've sent in to kind of make sure you know what you need to follow in case you didn't like screen record or take notes or anything like that. But let's get into this last track. This is going to be the final one of the day. It is music by Brielle right here in the chat. This is a Christian gospel song. I'm the writer and singer. I usually send drums, bass, and keyboards to my collaborator. He does the rest of the instruments and tweaks my stuff. Would appreciate your input. All right, let's get into it. Any other details you want me to know? Let me know. But this is the writer and singer right here in the chat. Music by Brielle. Let me get this downloaded. This is Never Run Out of Reasons, the final mix. But I'm assuming it's not in platforms or anything yet, right? Or in distribution yet, if there's still some things you can tweak. But let's get it downloaded. Let's dive in. Last one, y'all. Last one. Little country edge.
In the morning when I awake to give you thanks and praise.
Not since you've been here, Magic. They only send them if you're here.
And search my heart for words. For you are not just any God. You are the Lord of all creation.
Nice.
Holy, wise, and powerful, loving, kind, and merciful. We're all the wonderful things you are, like the countless number of stars. I will never run out of reasons to praise you. For all the hope you've given me, through the gift of grace that set me free. I will never run out of reasons to praise you. You gave a woman beyond her years the power to conceive. Your word brought new life to dry bones. Many are your mighty deeds. Sovereign are you, O Lord. You make me glad, you make me brave to sing the praises of your name. For all the wonderful things you are, like the countless number of stars.
Good consistent hook.
I will never run out of reasons to praise you. For all the hope you've given me, through the gift of grace that set me free. I will never run out of reasons to praise you.
Love that rasp in the vocal.
Who is like you?
Great melody following right there.
No one can deny.
I like that. Okay, solo. Good tone.
For all the wonderful things you are, like the countless number of stars, I will never run out of reasons to praise you. For all the hope you've given me, through the gift of grace that set me free, I will never run out of reasons to praise you. Hosts of heaven surround your throne and lift their voices high, singing, worthy is the Lamb that was slain. And in the end, you're redeemed. We'll join them in their song. Every knee will bow and tongue confess, you are the God of righteousness. For all the wonderful things you are, like the countless number of stars, I will never run out of reasons to praise you. For all the hope you've given me, through the gift of grace that set me free, I will never run out of reasons to praise you.
Beautiful. Love the B3 in the background. Nice movement on the organ. Y'all show some love. Show some love. That is music by Brielle right here in the chat. Never run out of reasons. Let's dive into it. First off the bat, obviously it's a longer song structure based on the context, the messaging, and kind of positioning of the song. I'm not mad at a longer song. Obviously, like in the contemporary worship space, having a song that has, 4 verses, a bridge, and multiple choruses is going to be a lot more typical. This is not like a modern pop record, right? So based on the context of it, I want to keep that in mind. Then, it's a 5.5-minute song, and that kind of makes sense for kind of the structure of it. So I'm not mad about that, especially because it does give you some decent dynamic range in the song kind of lifting. There's really like 2 small little things I want to get into as far as maybe tiny little mixed details that I think could maybe open this up a little. One is on the lead electric guitar and one is on the low end of your voice. So I kind of want the opposite thing happening to each of them. And then we'll go back into it. We'll listen for a couple of those things. On the lead electric guitar, everything in this mix, contextually, everything in this mix is very bright and transient and snappy, right? And some things are even thin, but there's some elements that, like, the percussion is very, I hear the hats over here, wide overheads, snare is really bright and snappy. So all the drums feel really open. They feel nice and punchy. Double tracked acoustic guitars, they're really wide. They're very bright. They also have a lot of that shimmer on them. So there's a lot of like the elements in the background, kind of the core of this mix. There's some piano and organ in the background. Those are also kind of bright, that feel really open, energetic, vibrant. Then the lead guitar, which comes in as a top line, right? That comes in as like a lead element for a moment there. It comes in a little bit dull at the top end. It comes in like a little bit kind of suppressed and filtered down. Now the tone overall of the guitar is really nice. The playing, fantastic. Like there's a lot of that I love. Big fan. It's working really, really well for the song. So I love what is being played and all that stuff. I wouldn't mind if, even like 6, 7, 8K on that guitar could come up a little bit and just kind of open up the guitar in the mix a little bit. We'll go into it. We'll listen for it. Open it up a little bit so that it shines a little bit more as a solo in the mix. Feels a little bit more open. It kind of scoots it forward in the mix for a second, and then it can kind of fall back down whenever the vocal comes back into play, like it already does. It pans over to the left. It's suppressed a little bit more. I don't mind that. But when it's a solo, I want it to feel a little bit brighter. I want to feel like it's a little bit more forward in the mix. On the vocal side, and then we'll dive into the song. We'll just chop through a couple things. On the vocal side, again, everything instrumentally, whether they're digital or real or a combination of the two. I think there's some real elements obviously in here with the guitar and keys and some other stuff, and even on the percussion side, but also some digital fill-ins. All of it's very bright, very wide, very open. And then the vocal itself also feels a little suppressed, kind of like the guitar. A little bit of mud in the low mids, like 100 to 300 hertz, 100 to 300 hertz. There's a little bit of low mud right in there that I think we could, and I'm talking like maybe a dB and a half, 2 dB in that range could be, pulled back and carved just a little bit to let that vocal, your vocal, the lead, feel a little bit more energetic, take out some of that low mud. And then the last thing, so those guitar and vocal in tandem, these are all lead elements. The last thing is I would love some layers to your vocal. Now there's some harmonies in the background, which I also love. Those third note harmonies are fantastic. They're executed well. I don't necessarily mind where they're positioning. Maybe a little bit muddy sometimes too, kind of like the lead vocal. Wouldn't mind some of that low mid taken out there maybe as well. But I would love to widen up that vocal as well. Again, a lot of this comes down to like the contrast between elements in the mix and their ability to kind of compete with each other, where you have wide, bright drums, wide, bright guitars, wide, bright piano and pads and synths and whatever, and then narrow, darker, muddier vocal, lead guitar, and harmonies, right? So that contrast, because everything else is so bright and so wide and so open and really energetic, it can make those other layers feel dull in comparison with the way that they're mixed. So I do think it could be nice to complement them a little bit better, brighten up, like we said, brighten up the vocals slightly, take care of some of the mud on the low end, open up the lead guitar a little bit more at the top end, and then I would love a left and right at the very least. There's a nice third note harmony in there. Gorgeous. Love it. Beautiful. I would love to get maybe a double or another harmony of maybe your own vocal on the left and the right as well. Position like 75% to either side so that feels nice and poppy and open, specifically on the hook. If you want to dry it up on the verses, dry it up on the verse. But on those hooks, on those choruses, get a left and a right double on there. It's going to wake up the vocal mix like crazy. It's going to help connect that vocal mix to the rest of the production and make those nice and bright and airy and maybe even a little bit thinner, but bright and airy. That's going to help connect your vocal structure to a bright and airy production, and it doesn't feel like they're two separate things. A little bit of what I'm hearing now is like bright, airy production, kind of like duller, darker top line, and they're so contrasted, they kind of feel like two separate things happening. And I want them to feel like they're married together. They're really, really consistent and cohesive. That's the kind of bullet points. That's kind of the bullet points between the guitar and the vocal layers, especially on the last few choruses, a few double tracks that would help it 100%. Nick, I agree. 100%. All right, let's run it from the top. I'll quickly chop because I think I kind of explained everything, but I want to listen for those parts. Besides that, I think everything is really, really, it's well written within the structure of this genre. Musicianship is great. Like I said, it's a longer song, but that's more typical of a song like this. That's going to have maybe more verses than typical, or an extra verge or an extra bridge at the end and stuff like that. I don't mind that. Let's run it from the top. Really bright acoustics. Bright, there's more like nylon acoustic on the left, bright, steel acoustic on the right side, bright, snappy piano, crispy drums. All of this is very vibrant. Beautiful. I mean, it sounds great.
In the morning, when I awake,
and I like the top end of that vocal. It's just pulling some of the mud on the low.
to give you thanks and praise. I seek your face and search my heart for words. Holy, wise, and powerful.
Yeah, a little of that 100 to 300, just a hair, a dB and a half, 2 dB, so on and so on. Like just a little bit there. So it's not too boomy. Also, side note here, personal taste. There's a hi-hat pan to the left side, which I don't mind. That's a nice like stereo overview. Like those overheads on the drums are great. Those sound nice, and I like what they're doing. I wouldn't mind. I don't know because I don't know the session. I don't know if there's a direct mic on the hats. If there is a direct mic on the hats, wouldn't mind if that came down just a hair in the mix. If there's not, maybe the overheads could come down a hair in the mix because it's giving you that really exaggerated stereo field on the drums, and the hats are pretty loud on the left side. Wouldn't mind if those were a little bit quieter. If there's not control over that, it's fine. It sounds fine. But if there's a direct mic on the hats, it could be nice to bring that down by like 2 or 3 dB. They're panned pretty, 60, 70% to the left as well, which makes them more distinct. So it's not that they're just like crazy loud. They're also off pan 60, 70%. And that relationship to the overheads is part of what we're hearing. If there is a direct mic on the hats, we can bring it down a couple dB. That'll help suppress some of that. If it's all just an overhead, like stereo overheads on the drums, they're all very phase cohesive. All the drums sound really, really nice, but we might just want to bring them down so we're getting more direct mic, less of the stereo overhead since they are exaggerated so wide. Another thing would also be maybe not panning the stereo overheads 100%, maybe going to 80, 90%, so it doesn't feel so exaggerated compared to everything else. But those are tiny, tiny, tiny little details in the drum mix. What's up, Joe? What's up, man? I hope you're doing amazing today. Good to see you, brother.
Loving, kind, and set me free.
Okay, so here we're getting into the hook structure, right? So now we have a nice, clean lead vocal, like I said, 103, like we already mentioned, 100 to 300 hertz, a little bit of mud right in there, especially as you start to actually, start to build up more of the harmonies. There's the third note harmony that comes in on the B section there, and that sounds great. A little bit of that mud there we can mitigate. I definitely want the doubles though. We need a left and a right. We need 75% this way and this way. We need to open up this vocal structure so it can compete with everything else. Right now it's just too dry. There's delays on it, but it's too direct and too dry in mono. So the contrast between all of this extra stuff happening over here and a really, really narrow sounding vocal is just going to be too much of a contrast. It's going to distinguish that vocal from the mix too much. Thank you for the heart, me man. In Chicago, cooking with PDs. Ooh, who's PDs? Do I know PDs? Should I know PDs? In Chicago, cooking is enough for me though. In Chicago, cooking is dope enough. Let me get into the guitar solo. Last thing we'll tackle is the guitar solo, and then I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I mean, beautiful tone. Beautiful, beautiful tone. Like the guitars themselves, amazing. It's a good structure. It's a great solo. I hear some of the tags later on, and really, really cool structure down there, right? Again, great tone on the guitar, but just a little bit dull. We were talking about the vocal, a little bit dull compared to the rest of this very bright, kind of inflated, exaggerated width and brightness and vibrancy coming from the rest of the production. And so then when this guitar comes in, it's a beautiful line, very good, pentatonic walk in on the guitar right there. It sounds great, dude. It sounds awesome. It sounds really nice. At the same time, a little bit dull compared to everything else. He's a producer. He streams sometimes. I'll be back next week as well to hang with Danielle. Beautiful, dude. Amazing. Hell yeah. Danielle's the family. We love Danielle. Danielle's the GOAT. She's the GOAT of TikTok artists. But that's sick, man. Enjoy the trip, man. Enjoy the trip. Man, this is great. Awesome. I mean, good tone across the board. Hey, absolutely, man. Take care of yourself. And there's those harmonies again. Open that up a little bit. Y'all, please show some love to Brielle. Brielle, you're awesome. I mean, obviously, within the space, I think you're doing a good job. Great consistency in your songwriting. Great structure. Your melodics are fantastic. Your hook is really consistent. Structure is really well put together. The musicians you're working with are awesome as well. They know what they're doing. These are well-tracked, well-produced instrumentals as well. So you can really hang on to that. I think you're doing a great job in that space. For me, it's just going to come down to little bits of polish, a little bit of kind of a bit more cohesion between all of these things coming together, right? Between vocals and its layers, the production structure and its layers, and how those marry and how those work together. I think we can polish that a little bit for the most part. Sounds really, really nice. Y'all show some love to Music by Brielle right here in the chat. That is going to call it for today. I'm going to get out of here. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon, most likely. So definitely get your music ready, get your revisions ready. We'll be back live. We'll open up the line for a handful of songs, and then we'll keep it rolling into next week as well. There'll be a couple lives where a couple days I won't be able to be live, like maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to be live. I'm not positive on Tuesday either. Tuesday, I'm not positive. I'll have to figure that out as we go. Quick spiel before we hop off for any of you all that are interested. For those of you who don't know, I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. I've done it for 14 plus years. If you are ever interested in those services, if you need, live drums, you need electric, acoustic, bass guitars, you need hardware, analog, synths. That's a lot of what I track as far as session work, because I have a bunch of them and I'm good at them. So if you ever need synths in your tracks, keys, things of that nature, I do a lot of that. You ever need full production, mixing and mastering, all that good stuff, shoot me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your evening. Hopefully we'll see y'all very, very soon. Peace.